Hello, everyone. Thank you again once again joining this session. This is a weekend workshop I have organized to share my knowledge, whatever we have. I have learned from my past experience on the Power Pages. I have There are a lot of folks have been requesting from last couple of months, like please organize some of the trainings, some free trainings on the Power Pages, and they have already watched my Power Pages 30 days learning challenge. So they just wanted to have this session live. So based on this request, I have organized this weekend workshop. For those who are not able to attend the sessions, I'm recording this, and in few weeks I will be uploading on my YouTube channel as well. Okay, so the objective of this workshop is you know provide you the hands-on training on Power Pages. I just wanted to give you, first of all, I just wanted to thank everyone who have registered, and I have seen the incredible response. I didn't expect that I got 263 responses until I closed the registrations. I was expecting more, but unfortunately, I had to do a lot of other things as well, so I had to stop the registrations. But I'm really glad that you guys have given so much good responses, and based on I have seen the responses that provided by you. Total 173 participants are the beginners, so that's a huge amount. 87s are the intermediate and three are the experts. So that's quite good. So I have basically arranged this workshop for the beginners, uh, but also for the intermediate and the experts as well. So today my main objective is to cover the fundamentals of the Power Pages. I will take you through some live demonstrations. I will try my best because this is a 3 hours training session, and Power Pages is quite a huge topic. It's a big product, so unfortunately, it's not possible to cover each and every topics. But I'll try my best to cover each and everything. And if it is possible, you can also try by yourself in the background, and I'll not be able to take all the questions during the sessions because I'll be presenting, and there is no co-organizer or co-presenter, unfortunately. But whatever questions you have, I have seen there are a lot of people have already I have already posted the questions in the form. I'll answer them as well once the training is over tomorrow. But if you have any questions, just put me in the chat, and I will answer them once the training is over. All right. Just wanted to give a quick introduction about me. Those who don't know me, or those who already knows me, they have attended my Power Pages 30 days learning challenge as well. So, my name is Arpish Srivastava. I'm 4 times Microsoft MVP awarded and 4 times Microsoft certified trainer. I'm currently working as a Power Platform expert and architect in Capgemini, Sweden. I've had 12 years of experience with Power Platform and the Dynamic 365, and I've been sharing knowledge with the community since 2019. Uh, I'm sharing my knowledge through various social media channels. You can find me, speaking on various community events worldwide, and I'm also running a lot of mentorship challenges. So I've created a lot of videos on the YouTube as well. So if you want to follow me or subscribe my YouTube channel. There is no force, of course, but if you like my content, then of course you can go to my YouTube channel and find it. And all the future trainings, I'll also upload the recording on my YouTube channel as well. One more thing is, I have recently published my book named Learning Microsoft Power Apps. I've been writing it from last 2 years. So if you are interested to learn the fundamentals of Power Apps, you can go and buy that book from the Amazon. This book basically covers everything related to Power Apps, not only the Canvas app, but it also covers all the aspects of model-driven app as well. So if you want to learn everything related to Power Apps like model-driven apps, Dynamic 365 C, the fundamentals of the components of Power Apps like plugins, workflows, business process flows, and all the features of Canvas app until July 2024. So I try to, put all my knowledge, whatever I have learned from my past 12 years of experience in that book. So this book basically for the beginners. So if you want to learn Power Apps, you can buy that book. Okay. Well, this is the agenda of today or this weekend workshop. Basically, the day one, the today we are going to kickstart our Power Pages workshop, and my main focus is for the beginners, and that is for the basic level training, where I'm going to cover what is Power Apps. No, sorry, what is Power Pages. I'm also going to cover the the security architecture, how the core components of Power Pages look like. Then we will set up the environment. Some demonstrations are there. I expect like you already have set up your developer environment because some of the things takes time, so we can't expect you to do it during the session. So I expect like you have the Power Apps, Power Platform environment set up. We'll create a website. We will set up the data model. We will of course use some of the AI features, some of the Copilot features, so that you will learn like what are the features of the Copilot. You can also use it. Um, I'm not sure whether you will be able to use those features in your real world project because it depends on the licensing and it depends on what are the features currently in the preview, because most of the features you see related to the Copilots are in the preview mode. So it might be possible that some of the features are not enabled in your region, and might be possible that they are enabled. So, but we will see like what are the Copilot's capabilities are there. I have set up, I have already done some groundwork for you so that I don't need to do everything during the session because otherwise it will take a lot of time. So some of the things I've already set up for you, and I will demonstrate to you, of course, like how you can set up on your own environment. So these are the top 10 topics I have covered. I have got it covered for you for today's workshop. And in day two, my main objective is to cover some advanced topic, how to customize the pages, how to integrate the cloud flows, web APIs, and customizing the B2C pages and everything. All right, so without further ado, let's start with what is Power Pages. Okay, I know like you have heard about this product a lot, but just for the beginners, Power Pages is one of the family member of the Power Platform components, and that is basically used to create the websites. Okay, like if you have worked on the previous version of the Power apps or the Dynamic 365, there was no component available that is created for the external audience. Okay, there was no component for the customers, right? Because most of the components that you use it today, like Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, so these components, let me change this to Power BI. So most of the components that you see in real world, they are mostly related to the internal employees or the employees who are working for the organizations. There was no component for the external audience. So Power Pages is one of the component that Microsoft has provided. That is basically for the external audience, for your customers. Okay, and it is basically used to design the website development. I know like there are a lot of tools available in the market that also useful to create the website and low code no code website, but there are few advantages of using Power Pages compared to other products in the market, but that we will discuss during the demonstration. Like you will realize like what are the components and what are the significance of using those components. Then you will realize like what are the advantages of using Power Pages over the other website tools available in the market. Okay, so these are the five major components of the Power Platform, and you are already aware about it. I'm expecting that. So if you have to do the app development, then you have got the Power Apps. Okay, and by using Power Apps, you can create the mobile application, web applications, and tablet-based applications as well. If you have to automate the process and the repetitive task, you have to automate your logic and everything, then you have got the Power Automate that you can integrate with the Power Apps as well, or integrate with other components as well. Power BI is the third component that is basically used to create the dashboard, analytics, and the reports. And then we have got the Copilot Studio that is basically used to design the chatbots. And nowadays we are calling them the Copilot agents, or you can call them the AI powered digital assistants. Okay, so I know like there are a lot of hype these days about the AI powered assistants, Copilot Studio. So this is one of the tool that is also part of the Power Platform family. And the fifth tool that we are going to discuss today is the Power Pages. That is basically used for website development. So all these five components make this Power Platform as a SaaS based platform. Okay. Now, here the interesting fact is that if you can see in the middle circle, because no app or no website can be designed without having connecting with the data sources, right? So, what is going to be the data sources for all these components? So, out of all these five components, some of the components are tightly coupled with the Microsoft Dataverse, and some of the components are free to use any of the Dataverse. They can, of course, use the Dataverse, but they can also use the other external data sources as well. Okay. So if I talk about the Power Pages is tightly coupled with Microsoft Dataverse. Okay, so if you ask me this question, can I create a Power Pages website on top of SharePoint? No, it is not possible. Of course, you can integrate with the SharePoint to pull and push the data through the various mechanism like APIs integration, virtual tables, and everything. But your primary data source will remain the Microsoft Dataverse. You cannot change that. Okay. Unlike other components of the Power Platform. So if I talk about the Power Apps, now in this Power Apps, you have got two kind of apps, Canvas app and the model driven app. So Canvas app is kind of Power Apps that allows you to use the data source other than the Microsoft Dataverse. Okay. So if you don't have the Dataverse installed in your environment, you can still create the Canvas app because you can integrate that with the SharePoint, OneDrive, Microsoft Excel, SQL Server, and there are 1000 plus data sources are available. But that is not the case with the model-driven app. Model-driven app is also tightly coupled with the Dataverse. Okay. So there are two major components that is tightly coupled with the Dataverse that you cannot change it. The one is model driven app and the second is Power Pages. Okay. And then Power BI, of course, like you can integrate with many data sources to bring the data and create the analytics and the reports. Power Automate also allows you to connect with 1000 plus connectors, and they are keep on increasing. Copilot Studio is also create. It can also use the Dataverse plus many other connectors to pull and push the data. So basically, there are two only components, and except that, other components can use the other Dataverse. Sorry, the data sources. Okay, so that is very important. Like if you are developing the website, if you are developing the website using Power Pages, your data, your configuration should be stored in the Microsoft Dataverse. Okay. Now, if I talk about the architecture, the security architecture of the Power Pages, so basically there are three major components of the Power Pages. The first is your Power Pages site, where that you are running on your browser. The second is your Dataverse, as I talked about, which store all the data, all the configuration, all the customization that you are doing for the Power Pages site. And of course, your Power Pages site is an external website that is exposing your Dataverse site. So you need to host it somewhere, right? So whenever you have developed your .NET website, you host it on the some of the public domain like Azure or IaaS. So there are a couple of ways to host your website, right? So in the similar way, Microsoft use the Microsoft Azure to host your Power Pages site. So these are the basic three components. So your site, your Dataverse, and your Power Pages, web application in the Microsoft Entra ID. So whenever you create a Power Pages site, okay, we are going to have a look into it in a while. That whenever you create a website in your Power Platform environment, it automatically create a Power Pages web application in the Microsoft Entra ID. So that is Azure Active Directory, the old name of it. So it automatically create a web application, and then how this Power Pages web application ensure the authentication between your Power Pages site and the Dataverse. So first, whenever you hit the Power Pages site from your browser, it first redirect your URL to the Power Pages web application, and it basically asks for the token. Okay, and token is nothing, it's just the identification that you are the authenticated person. Okay, so when you hit the site on the browser, it requests for the token, and then there are a lot of things runs in the background on the Azure Active Directory. There is a Azure window application firewall that basically ensure that actually provide you the additional layer of security, and basically ensure there is no malicious attack or there is no unauthorized access is being done for the portal. Azure CDN basically ensure it actually help you to load your site faster, to load your content faster, to store the content in the local server region. Okay, it is not like you are in a Sweden region and your data or your content is storing in the India region, right? Because of course it will take time to load it. So it ensure like your data, your content is loaded in your local region and loaded faster. So it is a content delivery network. So these are the two default components of Power Pages, and you don't need to pay a license for that. So if you have created the Power Pages website in the production environment, or in the production environment, then you have got these two options by default with your license. Okay, and then your request goes to the Azure Traffic Manager, because it might be possible like on the production you have got a lot of traffic, lot of hits on your website, and once you create a website, your website get hosted in two server region. One is primary application server, and the second is secondary application server, just for the disaster recovery, just for uh, just for your continuously delivery of your data on the portal. So imagine your site is getting crashed, and it is not getting response from the primary application server region, so it will automatically get the response from the secondary server region. So this only happens only for the production side, not for the trial or the sandbox. Okay, and you don't need to care about it. This is basically Microsoft doing in the background, because it's a SaaS based platform, so you don't need to worry about it. So this is basically, I'm just giving a heads up like what are the things works in the background. Okay, so once you request for the token, it basically goes to that Azure web application Microsoft Entra ID, and you get the token back from that, and using that token, and that token basically use it as a ID card. Okay, like the way you use the ID card to enter in your office premise. So that token, Power Pages side take it from the Azure and then go to the Dataverse to get the data and display it to the portal. Okay, and then Dataverse will cross check whether that token is valid, the user who is requesting for this token or providing this token is authorized. Once it gets the information back, that acknowledgement back that yes, the token is valid, then the Dataverse provide the access to the data to the Power Pages side. Okay, so this is how the whole architecture works. And this is the different picture of how the architecture works in the Power Pages. So this is the client device. So it could be mobile, tablet, or your desktop from where you are making the request to the portal. And these are the two components that help you secure and load your site faster. And this is your Dataverse. So there are a lot of backend servers services runs in the as a middleware, and it ensure user are authenticated and authorized to access the Microsoft Dataverse data. Okay, and here is the interesting fact is the connectors. So since you cannot directly create the Power Pages site on top of the other data sources like SharePoint and OneDrive, but still there are a couple of ways that you can use it to interact with the external data sources. So that we will discuss later, like how you can pull the data from external sources, like from the Cloudflow, from the APIs, from the virtual tables. but that is a separate story. But yeah, so the main primary data sources is the Microsoft Dataverse. And this is how your Azure Traffic Manager, distribute the load whenever there is a huge traffic on the primary application server. All right, perfect. Now, if you have to start creating the Power Pages site, what are the prerequisites for that? So basically, imagine you're working in a live project and you get the requirements from the client. So the first thing that you have to do it for the fit gap analysis. So this is not applicable for the portal, but for all the projects basically. So first you need to understand whether the requirement that you're getting it from the clients, whether really fit for the Power Pages or not. Okay, because sometimes I have seen you have to create just a simple web page and display the Dataverse information, and people just choose the Power Pages for that. So it doesn't make sense. You need to first understand like what are the features, what are the components of the Power Pages, and you need to map it with the requirement that you are getting it from the clients. And then you need to really understand whether you need to use the Power Pages site for your client or not. Okay, unless or until you are really using all the features of the Power Pages, you should go ahead with that. If you are just wanted to use one or two features of the Power Pages, I think I need to you need to think about that from the licensing perspective, from the lot of other feature perspective. If you have to create a simple web page and just need to host it and display the Dataverse data, there is no need to create the Power Pages. You can simply create a HTML page and host it in the Azure, and you can embed it to the external websites as well, right? So it depends like on the requirement. So fit gap analysis is very important. So once you decided like, okay, we can go ahead with the Power Pages and we have to create the Power Pages site for the clients, then what are the step one? The step number one is there are a lot of templates are available. Right. Okay. So sometimes you may not want to create the whole website from the scratch. That is the advantage of using Power Pages. You have got the lot of templates, and these templates are being created by the Microsoft on the regular basis, and they are keep on adding new templates on every releases, most probably. And you will get a lot of templates like for application registration, customer self-service, community portals. So these are the most common business requirement that Microsoft has realized that customers are using, and based on that they have created few templates for you. And you can just simply so if you ever created the Canvas app, you have got a lot of templates. In the similar way, you have got the templates for portal. So it basically gives you the kickstart to creating the Power Pages site instead of creating the website from the scratch. Okay. Now, once you decided like, okay, we are going ahead with the portal, then the second things comes into the picture is the licensing. Okay, because almost all the clients are mostly concerned about the licensing, like what are the different ways to, what are the different ways of pricing of the Power Pages, what are the different types of licensing. So Power Pages licensing in two flavor. The first is subscription based, and the second is the pay as you go based. It's kind of prepaid and the postpaid. The way you recharge your mobile or your Wi-Fi, right? It's a prepaid and the postpaid. So subscription is like prepaid, and pay as you go is like postpaid. Okay. Now, if I talk about more about the licensing, so in the subscription based portal, Power Pages licenses are basically cost based on the user, the type of user. So if the user are registered, if they are the authenticated user, means they have signed up on the portal, then it costs $200 per user per website per month. Okay. But if you are purchasing it for purchasing the yearly plan, that you may have to uh, pay less. It's cost you around 100 users per site per month. And if it is the anonymous user, so sometimes you have to uh, create some of the features on the portal that don't require user to sign up or log in on the portal. So in that case, you need to pay $75 per user per website per month. And if you are purchasing the yearly plan, then it is a 500 users, $500 per users per site per month. Okay. And if you are choosing the pay as you go license, this is a better approach when your website traffic is not that much and your website is not being used that frequently. So in that case, authenticated user cost $4 per active user per website per month, and anonymous user cost you $0.30. Okay, per active user per website per month. So this is basically you will also get that information from the Microsoft portal as well. So don't go with this slide deck to make your decision. Always check the licensing or the current licensing plan from the Microsoft website because um, there could be slightly change in the pricing as well based on the product you are using. Sometimes you get the discount based on the existing products you are using. And there is a very good video I have created on my YouTube channel, and that is as part of the Power Pages 30 Days Learning Challenge. You can also find it. Like how do you really decide like whether you have to go with the subscription based license or the pay as you go based license. So there are a couple of parameters I have discussed there, and there are a couple of real world example I've also explained there. So I would recommend if you have to go deep diver in the licensing part, you can watch that video because I cannot discuss more about the licensing since we have to cover a lot of things as well. Okay. Well, if I talk about the setup and the installation of the portal, so basically, if you are a beginner or you already have the license of the portal, there are a lot of questions coming into your mind like how can I kickstart or how can I start creating the website. So basically, there are two ways. The first is the Power Pages trial, and the second is Power Pages production. Okay, what is Power Pages trial? So there are two ways to create the trial environment. If you have created the trial environment only for 30 days, then you will get the Power Pages only for 30 days. Okay. But if you have created the Power Platform environment as a developer environment, like developer environment never expires, right? So it basically helps you to play around with a lot of new features and all the play around with all the interesting stuff that Microsoft provides you. So if you are using the Power Platform developer environment and you create the website there, then that website is called developer site, okay? And it also never expires. So I would always recommend like if you want to create a Power Pages site and you want like your data should never lose and you want to just play around with infinite days without worrying about your data getting lost or your trial is getting expired, then create a Power Pages developer site. Okay. So this is basically comes in two flavor, 30 days and the developer side. But if you already have the Power Platform license, Power Platform sandbox or the production environment. So this is I'm talking about if you are really working for a client, if you are working in a project where you have the sandbox environment or the production environment. In that case, if you create a Power Pages site, then first it will available for 90 days. Okay, and this is only applicable for sandbox and the production environment. Okay, and then after 90 days, it will get expire. And if you want to convert it to the production, then you can start using it. But until 90 days, you have to take the decision whether you want to really go ahead with the Power Pages site or not. Okay. So the main objective here is whenever you are creating the Power Pages site, no matter it is a trial environment, is a developer environment, is a sandbox environment or the production environment, Power Pages site always start with a trial. Okay. And you can understand better with this life cycle. So whenever you create a Power Pages site, regardless of which kind of Power Platform environment it is, it always created as a trial. Now, for how long or how many days this trial will be available, it depends on your environment type. If it is a trial, then it will be available for 30 days. And if it is a sandbox or the production environment, then it will be available for 90 days. All right. And once the trial period is over, 30 days or 90 days, either you can convert that to the production. Converting it to the production means you are actually purchasing the license of the Power Pages site from Microsoft. Okay. Converting your site to the production doesn't mean you are creating the Power Pages site in the production environment. Converting the site to the production means you are actually purchasing the license of the Power Platform, Power Pages site. Okay. And it could be in the sandbox and it could be in the production environment. If you don't convert it to the production, then after 7 days, it will go into the suspended state. And after 7 days, it will be completely deleted from your environment. Okay. And this is basically for the non-developer side. Non-developer means trial, sandbox, or the production. Or if you are creating a developer site as part of the Power Platform developer environment, then it will come with no expiry. So whenever you create a site, there is a developer site, there will be no expiry. But the limitation, you can't convert it to the production. You can't, and of course, it will not be suspended and will not be deleted. Okay, so it is only for the play around purpose. Now, if you have to start designing the portal or building the portal, as you know, like Power Pages is for the Fusion team. Okay, Microsoft has developed the Power Pages site not only for the developers but for everyone. So basically, it's a Fusion development. That means it allows everyone to do the contribution to the website development. There are a lot of features that Microsoft has provided for citizen developers. There are a lot of features they have provided for professional developers, and there are a lot of features they have provided for the IT professionals. Okay. And if you can see like what are the different tools available to design and build the site, then for citizen developer, Microsoft has provided the Design Studio, and it is just a tool where you can simply drag and drop the controls. We can quickly see in the demo. Like this Design Studio is basically for citizen developer, where they can simply drag and drop controls, components to create the website. Power Pages Management app, it's a model driven app, and this is basically for the professional developers where you can do more things compared to the Design Studio. Microsoft basically focusing more on the Design Studio part because it is a new way of developing the portals. And you may ask this question like, what are the why Microsoft has provided so many tools and makes the confusion like which tool we have to use it for the development. So they started with this management tab because I've been working from the ADX Studio time, so I know better. So they have started with this management tab, and that was basically for the professional developer. But then later they realized like they want to create this website development for the low code, no code developers as well. So that's why they have created the Design Studio. And this Design Studio basically has all the features that you have in the management app, but there are still few features that Microsoft is lacking. So some of the development work you have to do in the Design Studio, and some of the development work you have to do the management app. Okay, but Microsoft is gradually migrating all the features from management app to the Design Studio. But still, if you have to currently working of the Power Pages, you have to use both the tools. We will check that also. And for the professional developers, we also got the VS Code desktop and the online version. So if you want to do the development, offline, for example, you want to take the whole, you want to take the export of whole configuration of Power Pages and do the development offline, then you can use the VS Code desktop version. You can take the export, you can simply design the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, whatever it is, no matter whether you are connected to the internet or not. But once you are connecting back or once your development is done on your desktop VS Code version, you can push your changes to the respective repository as well, or you can directly upload your changes to the Power Platform environment as well. So for that, you need to have the good knowledge of Power Platform CLI. So tomorrow I'm going to cover that as well, but that is for the professional developers. A limited features or limited version of the VS Code desktop that Microsoft has provided is VS Code Online. That doesn't provide all the features that you have got in the desktop version, but still it is very useful if you have to edit the code, if you have to edit the CSS. It is a very good editor. You can directly do and make the changes and push your changes back to the database. And then for the IT administrator, of course, your website once you deploy your website to the production, there are a lot of administrator related activities. You have to monitor your website, you have to troubleshoot your website, you have to check the logs, you have to restart your website, something you have to put your website in the maintenance mode. Sometimes you are deploying the portal, then you have to put it in the maintenance mode. So these kind of things, I think you can hand over to the IT administrator team, and they can probably do all kind of these things. So it is a basically fusion development. Everyone involved in this whole development, not only the developers are dependent on that. If I talk about the components, I will quickly go through all the slides because I will rather you know recommend to directly check the demos for all the components. But just take quick understanding, like basically the whole components of the Power Pages is grouped into five components. The first is core component, the second is root components, design components, security, and the code components. Core components means whenever you install the Power Pages site or create the Power Pages site in your environment, it installs some of the managed solution. So being a developer, you need to you must be aware about it, like what exactly happening when we are creating a website. Okay, so it installs some of the managed solution. So that is a part of core component, and it's not every time you create the website it install the solution. It used to happen earlier when you were using standard data model, but nowadays Microsoft has enhanced the data model of Power Pages, and we call it as enhanced data model. So every time when you create a new website in your environment, all this managed solution doesn't get installed. It only happens only one time. Portal metadata. So once your solutions are installed, of course, some of the tables also gets created where you actually do the configuration, and you get some default metadata available. So metadata means some tables, some forms, some views, some inbuilt tables you will get it from the portal. And then portal web app. I talked about this in the architecture part. So whenever you create the portal, it creates a web app in the Azure Active Directory. So this is basically about that. So these are the three core components that basically helps you create the website. And then if you talk about the root components, then there are two: website and the website binding. So website is a component that actually hold information about your website, because if you create a website, there are a lot of information like the URL, the domain, the owner of the website, the language that it is using. So all this information basically it is stored in the website record. Okay, and there could be multiple website in a particular environment. So it's not only that you can create only one website. Website binding, basically it makes the connection between your website and your Azure web app. So as you know, like if you have ever worked in the .NET, you have to make the connection. So if you're creating a .NET application, you have to make the connection. We call it as a connection string, and you can keep it in the web config or the app config that basically connect your web application with your server, right? To pull and push the data. In the similar way, in the Power Pages language, we call it as a website binding that basically establish the connection between your website and your server. Okay. And if you talk about the design components, there are a lot of design components. I'm not going to discuss each and every one here because I'll rather give you the direct demonstration of that. But design components are basically useful to design the Power Pages site. Okay, so web page, basic form, multi-step forms, form metadata, the list, content snippet, web files, web links, and then we have got the security components. So security components, I'll discuss it more because like if you use uh, if you use the Power Apps, your user needs to be created first in the Microsoft Entra ID in the Azure Active Directory, right? Once that user gets created there, then it is synced to the your Power Platform environment. You assign a particular license, then only they will be able to access your Power Platform environment. So basically, in the Power Apps, the authentication works around the user entity. Is a user table. You assign the security roles to that user so that they will be authorized to access the database data. But in case of Power Pages, since it's a external facing website, so your customer information gets stored in the contact. Okay, so whenever you log in, uh, whenever you sign up from the portal, your information gets stored in the contact table. Okay, and instead of security role that we have in the database, you provide the security using web roles and the table permissions. Okay, table permissions are like, what kind of access you want to give on the particular table. Okay, like read, write, update, or delete, something like that. Web roles means that basically kind of security role, so that you can distinguish like two different customer, what they can do on the portal, what they can't do on the portal. Page permission basically help you control, like sometimes you have a lot of pages on the portal and you want to just hide and show and provide the security, like which page you can access or which page you cannot access. So these kind of things you can manage using page permissions. And there are a lot of other security components. We will also look into it. So I'll just quickly go through all the slide decks one by one. Code components. Okay, so code components basically these are the components that basically helps you create or writing the code. So we will also check that as well, like what are the different ways where you can create the code. You can use the web templates, web pages, basic forms, multi-step form list, and content snippet. So these are the some of the components where you can write the code. You can write the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, liquid code, and all. And I'll skip this slide, customization and extend, because I'll talk about this tomorrow. Today, since it's a session for the beginner, so I'm not going to discuss about the customization part. Let's quickly get into the implementation part. So I'll quickly go to my site. Here it is. All right. Okay, so before kickstart the demonstration part, I'll just quickly go to the just wanted to check, like, again, I just wanted to cross check. Can everyone hear me loud and clear and they can see my screen where I'm showing this all the Power Apps related stuff? Can please someone please confirm me? Perfect. Okay. All right. So let's start with the website creation, the environment setup, and all. As I said, like I have already done some groundwork for you, so that some basic things I don't need to do it during the test session. So if you are new to this Power Apps environment, first of all, you need to create the environment. Okay, you can see like I have different environments. So environment is nothing, it's just a container where you can create a lot of components, and you can distinguish the components of one environment to another environment. People create environments for different purposes. Some create environments for development, for testing, and for production purpose. Some of the organization create the environment to distinguish the components from different vendors. So for example, one tenant can have your one tenant, you are working for the multiple clients or the vendor, so you create different environments for that. Sometimes you create the environments to create the components in the different regions. So there could be multiple ways or multiple business scenario where you have to create the environment. So I have created an environment Power Pages workshop. If you're not aware how to create that, you just need to first go to the make.powerapps.com and you will be landed on this page. You just need to click on this gear icon and click on the admin center. You will be taken to this admin center page. Okay, so let me first. Okay, so once you click on the admin center, this will take you to the admin center page. Power Platform Admin Center, click on the environments, and there you get the option called new. If you click on new, then you can fill up all this information like the name of the environments, the region that where you belongs to, and then you have got the different types. So you have to choose the developer environment. So I have explained you in the slide deck, like there could be different types of environment. If you create a trial environment, then if you create the Power Pages site there, then you will get the Power Pages site only for 30 days. Okay. If you create the developer environment, then if you create the developer environment and create the site there, then it will be available for infinite days. And for sandbox and the production, you will get initially for 90 days, and then either you convert that to the production or it will be deleted. Okay. And this is the way how you can create the environment. And you can see like I have created an environment, Power Pages workshop, and it is a developer environment. So this is how you can set up your environment. So once this environment is set up, you just go to the Power Apps, make.powerapps.com, choose your environment. Okay. And then you got the option called website here in the left panel. If you don't get that option, you click on the more and just add this option or pin this option from this dialog box. Okay. So once you click on the website, there is an option called create a website. I've already created a website, so I don't need to follow the steps. But for you, you can simply click on create a website now. Okay. And this will take you to the Power Pages home page. And this is basically a design studio. Okay. And here you have to do everything. So if you have to create a website, you have got a lot of option. The first option that you got is the Copilot. Okay. And here you can simply describe like what kind of website you want to develop, and Copilot will help you create that. Okay. For example, like there are a couple of examples are there. Create a site for project management, design a website for employee training. So whatever your requirement is, you just put there and it will start creating the website. Okay. The second option that you have got is templates, as I was talking about. So if you click on the start with template, you have got various templates that Microsoft has provided. So first one is, you know, the this start layout 1, 2, and then you have the FAQs, program registrations, application processing, and then start layout 5. There are different types of layouts you will get, and it depends on you like what kind of, if you have to develop a website where you want to do the registration kind of thing, you can choose the program registration option. If you have to create a website for help desk purpose, you can choose this FAQ website. So the advantage of using template is, you will get all the features related to the specific process in that template. You don't need to create everything from the scratch. Of course, once you create the website using template, you can customize that to fit your business need. But if any of this template doesn't fit your need, or if you don't want to create using the Copilot also, then you have got the option of blank page. Okay. So most of the time your client wants like, no, we don't want any templates. We don't want any Copilots to create the website. We want to create the website from scratch to meet all the kind of their organization branding and everything. So in that case, you can choose this blank page option. Okay. Now, if you choose the blank page, that doesn't mean that you have to do everything from the scratch. Still, you will get some default layout. For example, you will get the header, you will get the footer, you will get the navigation links. So, I mean, the layout or skeleton will always be there. You just need to add your own components there. Okay. So that is the meaning of the blank page. Okay. So as I said, like, you know, we will use the Copilot capabilities and the new features of the Power Pages during the session. So what you can do, maybe you can write like create a website for Microsoft, create a website for event management where participants can register for events. Speakers can submit their sessions and organizers could publish the events. So you can just put it in your natural language, so it doesn't matter basically. So it basically use the artificial intelligence in the background and just hit enter. So once you hit enter, it basically asks like what should be the name of your website. So I can just put event hub workshop like this. Okay. And then this is the unique one. This is your display name. So it doesn't matter whatever you are keeping, just put the name, meaningful name if you are doing it along with me. Here you need to provide the unique address. So you can just put maybe shop event hub. Okay. So tick means this domain is available. And then you have the site language. So it depends like if you have to enable multiple languages, you can enable multiple languages. I will also explain that later. But you need to provide this information and then hit next. And you can see like Microsoft has already provided some layouts for you based on the description you have provided. You can see like some title is there, the website, and couple of other options are there. Okay. If you don't find it useful or you don't like this layout, you can always hit the try again option and it will generate some new layouts for you. You can see like a new layout has got created now like this. And based on the information you have provided, they have provided the submit session option, event registration options, and other things. Okay. So imagine you don't like it, you can again edit the description and then change the layout and everything. But just for the demonstration purpose, I'll hit next. And you can see like it's not only creating the particular home page, but it also created some other pages or giving the suggestion to create the other pages like about us page and then the contact us page, FAQs, and this is for organizers, speakers, and the events. Okay, so imagine you might have taken months of time to develop these pages and the layout, HTML, CS, and then everything, but using this Copilot AI and everything, it just click of things, right? If you click done, it will automatically start creating the website for you. Okay, so if I hit done, it will start setting up all the configurations, all the you know necessary customization and everything for you. Perfect. So within a few minutes, you will see like a new website got created and it automatically taken you to the Power Pages Design Studio. So the screen that you see here is a design studio I was talking about, where 90% of the features Microsoft has provided to you to design the website. Okay. As I said, like still not all the features you have got here. So you still need to open the Power Pages Management app. So how you can find that? So if you go to the makes.powerapps.com and click on apps, you will get like if you click on the all, you have got a model driven app called Power Pages Management. Okay. And this model driven app, you will always get it whenever you create a website. Okay. So if you don't have the Power Pages site in your environment, then you will not get this model driven app. So if I simply open this app, I'll not describe right now because I'm going to discuss the design studio first. But here you can see all the components in the left panel. I was talking about the metadata, right? So once you install the portal or create the website, it installs some managed solution and it creates some metadata. So this is the metadata. You see the website, you see some of the tables specific to your Power Pages site, like content snippet, basic forms, list, and everything. Okay. And these all the components are also there in the design studio as well. So this is for the low code, no code developers, and this is for the pro code developers. So you have to parallelly use both the tools or app in order to design the website. Okay. So gradually you will understand like what features you don't find it in the design studio, and you have to head over to the, management app for that. Okay. Perfect. So let me explain you first what are the different features you have got in the Design Studio, because being a beginner, you must understand first from where what you can do in your Design Studio. Okay. So the first thing in the left panel, if you see, you have see the pages option. So what is pages? Pages means if you have to display anything on the portal, I mean anything, I mean forms, list, or if you have to show your own custom, stuff like editables upgrade or whatever it is, you first need a placeholder. You first need a page. So in the Power Pages side, if you have to design anything, it always start with a page. Okay, so once you create a page, then it will start appearing in the left panel. So for example, if I create a page, there are two options. Either you can create this page by describing your page in a natural language, and the Copilot will help you create that. But if you don't want to use the Copilot, you can simply hit here and then provide the page name and just simply choose the layout, whatever you want. Okay. If you want to create the page from the blank, you can choose the start from blank option, provide the page name, and there is a checkbox called add page to the main navigation. So that means once you create that page, whether you want to create the menu, it's a toolbar menu, whether you want to create a toolbar menu for that, so that once user click on that menu link, it will take them to this particular page. If you don't want to create that menu, then you can uncheck that option. Okay. So we will start creating that, but this is basically about the page. And if you create the page, it will either appear in the main navigation if you choose this option. Okay. But if you don't want to choose this option, it will still create the page, but it will appear in the other pages section. Other pages means it will not display in the toolbar option. Okay. Sometimes you have to create some of the pages. For example, you want to display some success message, but you don't want to show it on the toolbar. So in that case, you can create such pages without ticking that option. Okay. Second option is the styling. Okay. I will describe this part in more descriptive way, but this is just an introduction. Styling basically, if you have to change the CSS styling of your site, the complete theme of your site, then this is the section where you can change that. Okay, so how should your background color, how should your font should look like, what should be the heading should look like, and then a margin spacing, links should look like. Everything you can do it from here, and you have got a lot of themes available, and based on that you can choose it. And here you also got the custom CSS option as well, where you can upload your own CSS, and then you can change the branding of your site. Data, as I said, like Power Pages is built on top of Dataverse. So portal is nothing if you don't have any data to show, right? If you have the forms, you need to submit the data. If you have the list, you have to display the data. So whatever it is, you have to play around with the data. And where the data will store, the data will always stored in the Dataverse. In the earlier version of the Power Pages, you had to open this make.powerapps.com and navigate to solution section, and you have to create a solution here, and you have to do it. You have to start creating your components here, like tables, forms, views, and everything. But now Microsoft has embedded this solution option within the Design Studio, so you don't need to go here and there, back and forth, because it takes a lot of time. So you can directly go to the data section. Here you can choose your solution by selecting the gear icon. For example, I want like whatever components I want to create, it always goes in the Power Pages workshop solution. So I'll select this solution. Make sure, because I have seen many times people start creating components, but they don't select the solution here. So they create in the common default solution. Okay, so they end up creating deleting everything, and then they have to recreate that. So make sure you have to select your solution so that all the components gets created with the unique prefix. Okay, and then here you need to start creating a tables, and then you can see like if you want to use any existing table also, you can also use that. And for example, like if you want to create some new columns, you can directly create it from here. If you want to create some forms or views, you can directly do it from here. Okay, so this is about the data part, means you can do all the kind of data modeling here. So in couple of seconds we will set up that as well. Setup section. So setup basically there are some settings, I would say. there are a lot of settings you can enable or disable on the Power Pages site. So first thing is the site details. So site details basically provide the information about your site. So you can see like the owner, created on, modified on, the URL, language, and everything like the application ID. Okay, I was talking about that. So once you create a site, it creates a web application in the Azure Active Directory. So let me see whether I'm able to show that to you quickly. So if you go to the Azure and so in the app registration part, so just give me a moment. I'm just waiting for the code so that I can log in. I'll just wait for a few more seconds. So it's 275505. All right, so I just wanted to show you like what exactly happened when you create a website. So you remember like I just created a website. I will go to the Microsoft Entra ID. And then if you go to the app registration here in the left panel, if you go to the all application, I just created a website with the name, with the application ID this. So probably I can copy it and try to search it with this. And you can see like the same website, the same application has got created. So portal event hub workshop. So every time whenever you create a website, it creates a web application here. So if you don't have access to create this web application in your Azure Active Directory, you always face the access or the permission issues. So sometimes I have seen like people start creating the website and they get the issue like you don't have sufficient permission. So it might be possible it happens on your whenever you are creating a site in your real projects in the sandbox environment in the production environment. If you face this issue, then that means you don't have access in the Azure Active Directory to create the application. Okay. And this same application you can see listed here. Okay. And so this is all the information about the site, and this is a very useful tool, run site checker. So once you are ready to go to the production, you can run this tool. It's an inbuilt tool and basically scan through all your configuration you made in the portal. And if you have any security loopholes, if you have accidentally given access to any data, you have not enabled permissions, it will list down there and you can fix that immediately. Okay. So these are few things. Go live checklist, I will talk about that tomorrow. So this is the list where you can go through before you are going to the production. Site performance, you can also enable that option and it's a free of cost. You don't need to pay anything additional. Progressive web application, basically it convert your whole Power Pages site into the mobile application. So in the earlier version of your Power Pages site, you had to run your Power Pages site on the mobile browser. There was no specific application for that, but nowadays you can enable this PWA option, and you can set the app icon and everything, and you can also enable like which page you can set it as a start page, and you can also enable the offline pages as well, and then you can create a file and can upload it to the App Store or the Play Store so that you can directly download it from the respective applications. Okay. Cloudflow, I'm going to discuss it tomorrow, where you can integrate your Power Pages site directly with the Cloudflow. So I'll talk about that later. External apps, you can directly integrate DocuSign, Stripe for the payment integration, DocuSign for the document contract of sign integrations. So these are the application you also got. Currently, it's in the preview. Site search capabilities you have got. You have the add copilot capability. So I'm going to discuss all these features tomorrow. So Copilot, if you have to enable the chatbot capabilities and everything, okay? And then we go to the security section, and here you can again some security related vulnerabilities are there. Then you can also scan this. This is something called deep scan, where it will take around 2 to 4 hours of time. That will deep scan your Power Pages configuration, because after all you are exposing your data to the portal, so it ensured like you are not accidentally exposing any sensitive information. Web roles are kind of security roles. So by default, when you create a site, you by default gets three kind of role: administrator, anonymous, and authenticated. But if you want, you can create some new custom roles as well based on the requirement. Okay. Administrator means they can do anything on the portal. There is no kind of restriction. Anonymous means if you want to give portal, if you want to give access to your portal or the database data to the anonymous user, then you can provide this anonymous user role. Because sometimes you don't want to secure your data for everyone. Or for example, like we are creating an event management site and you want to display all the events that your organization are organizing, and you don't want like user needs to sign up on the portal in order to see that events or the trainings, right? They should just hit the website and they should see all the trainings or boot camps you're organizing. So event data, you need to expose it to the anonymous user. So these kind of things you can manage using web roles. Authenticated user means if you want like a specific feature of the portal or a specific data of the database, user needs to sign up on the portal, then you need to provide the authenticated user role. So for example, user needs to, if they want to register for a particular event or if they want to submit a particular session, then they need to register. Okay. So these kind of roles you have got, but you can create a new roles as well. So this is basically about the web role. Page permission means, if you are creating pages and you want like not all the users should see that page. Okay. For example, like I'm creating a page where organizer could submit their events. Okay. So that page should be visible to the organizer only, not to the speakers. Okay. So in that case, you can enable that page permission that that publish event page should only be visible to the organizer, not to the speaker or the participants. Table permissions. Table permission are basically, if you click on the new permission, you can see like you can enable the permission on a Dataverse table, like what kind of data or what kind of operation you can perform. So for example, if we choose account, then there are different types of access like global, contact, account, and the self. Global means if you give the global access, that means you are allowing customer that they can do anything on the account, regardless of who is the owner. They can do anything. They can, read, delete, append, update, create, and anything on the record on the table. If you provide the contact access, that means all the data which is associated with the logged in user, you will only access that. Okay. For example, like you are working for case management portal and you have registered a ticket or registered a case from the portal, and next time when you log in into the portal, you should see only your cases, your tickets. In the similar way, in the event management portal, if you have registered for a particular event, then you should see only those events that you have registered, not the other user registrations, right? So in that case, you need to provide the contact access, because whenever you make the registration from the portal, it should be associated with your contact record or the logged in user record. Then only you will be able to access your own registrations. So this is about the contact access. Account access means it gives you some more one more level access of the data. Sometimes you want to give access to the user at the company level or the account level. So for example, I'm working for a Capgemini and I want, if any of the Capgemini employees are logging on the portal, they should see the data of each other. So if I am working for a Capgemini, I should see the data of others, like the case or the events registered by them. So in that way, you can provide the account level access. The last one is the self access. Self access is basically only for the contact table. So this will basically give you access to update your own contact data. So for example, you want to show the profile page. So in any of the website, when you log into the website, you have got the profile page. And on the profile, you should only allow to update your own information. You should not be able to allowed to update the other profile or the other data, right? So this is basically about the self access, means you have access to your own contact. This is basically helpful when you are creating a custom profile page, because Power Pages has got their own profile page, but sometimes you have to create your own custom profile page. In that case, uh, you have to provide the self access access type to that particular table, so that no other customer can update your contact details. Okay. But whenever you create the permission, it is incomplete without associating a role. Okay. In the similar way, you create the permissions in the you know data verse, but without providing security role, it's incomplete, right? So you have to associate the role here as well. Then only it will be applicable this permission to this specific role. Perfect. Now let's go to the window application firewall. You already know. It is basically for the additional security. You don't need to do additional things. I can share the article with you. You just need to perform the step-by-step instructions. And this is basically useful for the production. If you are ready to go for the production, then you just follow the instruction provided by Microsoft in order to enable the window application, web application firewall. Identity provider are basically there are different types of login provider you have got. So for example, you can do the local sign in, Azure Active Directory, Microsoft Entra ID, Azure Active Directory B2C. So I'm going to discuss that about. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Google. So these kind of identity provider you have got. You just need to go here and just enable it or configure it, and that's it. You don't need to write any sort of code. You just need to collect some of the information from that identity provider. For example, you want to enable the Facebook. So you just click on configure, and whatever information it is asking, for example, client ID, secret key, you need to create an account in the Facebook developer page, and you will get this information. Okay. So yeah, so this is all about that. You can enable all the identity provider, whatever it is. If you want to set a default identity provider, click here. So for example, like I have right now two enable identity provider, local and the Azure AD. I want like the Azure AD should be my default one. You can click here and set it as default. Okay. So that means whenever you try to log in on the portal, you don't get the list to choose from. Okay, it will automatically take you to that Azure AD login page. So this is how you can do it. Site visibility, it's very important. So until you are doing the development, your site should be in the private mode. Okay, because you know, like I have already created a site, and if I hit sync and hit preview, it will take me to that site. Okay, so if I hit preview, it will take me to that site that I had just created. So basically, there are two kind of site visibilities, public and the private. Private we have to use until we are doing the development, so that no other audience or external user can access our site. Okay. Public is basically when you are ready to go live. So you need to make sure like when you are deploying it to the production, you need to set this site to public. Or if you are doing the UAT and everything where you want like the other user should always be access to that data. So you can see like this site is private and only specific people can view this site. Okay. And right now I'm signed in as my own login. So this is the way how you can set the private mode. Now you may ask this question like, you are doing the development in your development environment, and if you set the site visibility to private, who else other than me, being a developer, can access my site? Of course, the external audience cannot do it. But if you want to give access to the internal audience, for example, like I have to more developers who are working with me, or if any admin, or if some of the admin from the client side also want to get the access, then you have the option called grant side access option. And here you can type in the email address of your internal organization user and you can share it with them. By doing that, you can allow the access of your private site to the internal users. All right. So this is about the site visibility. There are a lot of advanced settings. I'm not going into that because there are a lot of things and will take time. So I'm just skipping that part. Some of the things you don't need to care about it because there are some internal settings. But if you first want to, so this is basically about the design studio. Okay, there is one more thing. If you go to the home page, there is a solution option here. Okay, and this solution is basically providing some copilot features. Okay, so for example, like I have already created a solution called Power Pages Workshop, so that I want like all the tables that I'm creating should be there in the solution. Okay, but the advantage of creating this tables and everything from this, because it provides the Copilot capabilities. Okay, so if I click on tables, you can see like it will take me to the Copilot designer page, and here I can decide like you want to create the table using Copilot, SharePoint list, Excel, or the blank. Okay, so basically when you are developing, you are designing your site and you have to create the data model, you have two options. Either you can go to the home and select the solution option, or you can simply go to the design studio. For example, we have created this site, and internally we have got this data option, right? The only challenge is that if you create the tables, forms, and views, you have to manually create each and everything. So if you create a new table, you have to create it from scratch manually, all the columns and everything. But if you take the advantage of Copilot, it will expedite creating your tables and the data models. All right, perfect. So let me first go back to this site. And as I said, like, okay, so this is the mine one. Let me open Event Hub Workshop. Okay. So once you created the site, the first thing that I want to create a few pages that is necessary for the event management site. So for example, the first thing, let me go back to the presentation so that we can see like what are the things we need to cover. Okay, so we have set up the environment, creating a website. Now build a data model. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is the data modeling. Okay, so as I said, like if you have to create the data modeling means you have to create the tables, forms, views, and fields, whatever needed to create the configuration. Because if you have to create the forms for the Power Pages site, you need to create those forms first in the Dataverse, because usually in other website you have to create the .NET forms like the HTML elements, text box, drop downs, and everything. But the advantage of using Power Pages is you don't need to recreate all those HTML elements. You need to create all those forms and the views in your Dataverse, and you can reuse them on the portal. Okay, so all the columns, all the data types, you just need to set up in your Dataverse. Okay, so for example, like if I have to first set up the data model, and this approach you also need to follow in your real world projects as well, because unless you have the data model set up, you'll not be able to create a website. Sorry, you can create the website, but you'll not be able to create any components on the portal like forms, views, and everything. Okay, so I can either create my tables and everything from the data section, or I can directly go to the home page, click on the solution, and then I can choose the Power Pages Workshop, my solution. uh, this is also very important from the best practices perspective. Like you create a separate solution where you can hold all your components. Sometimes we don't really do that. We do all the kind of customization, and then later it's very hard to find all those components that you have get created, right? So from the day one itself, whenever you are start creating your portal site, create a solution and start creating all the components. Now in this solution, it may not possible that you in this solution, it is not possible that only you have you are keeping only Power Pages related components. You can create other Dataverse components as well. So for example, if you are creating Cloud Flows, if you are creating some custom apps like Canvas app and everything, you can keep it here as well. Okay. All right. So first of all, since I have already created some of the tables, I'll not recreate those tables, but I'll tell you like how did I create that, so that if you are doing uh, this practical implementation in real time, you can also follow the same. I will also take the export of this solution and provide it to you at the end of this training so that you can also import in your environment and start creating or using that. Okay. So just for the demonstration, I have created few tables, events that will store the information about a particular event registration. That table will hold the information about the registration information, all the participant information that is registering for a portal. Event category means what kind of event it is. It's a Power Platform event, it's a Microsoft Azure, it's a .NET, or what kind of event it is. So instead of keeping it as a drop down or a choice, I kept it as a table because it could be dynamic in the future. Some events could be deleted or the creation created as well. And then we have the call for a speaker table. So that basically store the information about if someone is submitting their sessions, then what information they can submit that. Okay. So imagine you have to create a new table in your environment. So what you can do, you just click on the new option, table and tables, like that. And here you will get the option called start with Copilot. So if you hit that option, it will ask you for pop-up, like what kind of table you want to create. So you can simply ask like, I want to create a table for event registration. Let's start with this. I want to create a table called event that will store information about a particular event, like title, description, description, and event mode, event banner, organizer, etc. So it depends on up to you, like what kind of information or uh, pop-up information you want to provide it to the Copilot. The more meaningful information you will provide, the more meaningful tables and the columns it will create in the background. Okay, so it will avoid the rework if you provide the meaningful description. Okay, so just for the example, I'm just going to create this table, and I can also ask like I want to make create relationship with event registration and call for a speaker. Okay, so I mean this is just an example. Uh, you can write in your own way as well. And if I hit, just make sure like your limit is 2000 characters. So if you hit generate, um, it will start creating a tables within your solution. And I mean, it's up to you. You can create the manual way as well. But this is the way how you can, expedite creating your art data model. So now you can create like it has created three table. It has not actually created, it has temporarily created. So it has created three: event registration, event, and the call for a speaker. And it also automatically created the relationship as well. For example, like if I select the event, you can see like I have provided information about five columns: title, description, event, mode, organizer, and the banner. it has automatically created and the respective you know the column type as well. So if we click here and click on the view data, you can see it has created some sample data as well. Event title, description, event mode, and then organizer, and then event banner also. And if you don't like this information or the columns that is had created, then there are a couple of other options are there. For example, change option. Okay. If you select the change option, then you can select like you want to rename the selected table, you want to rename the column, you want to change the column type as well. For example, some of the columns, if they have created as a choice, you want like, no, I want to create that as a lookup. So it will automatically convert that data type as well. Or you can create the relationship as well. Okay. So this is the way how you can expedite creating the table registration, how you can set up the data model. And you also know, and I also know, like we are coming from the background where the Copilot was not there, and we used to spend a lot of hours or days to set up the data model, creating the fields manually, relationships and everything, right? But nowadays, I think you should utilize all those Copilot capabilities for the smart development, and then you can realize that it will expedite your development process as well. So this is how you can do that. If you want, like, for example, these are all the custom table it has created, but you want like, I have some existing table also that I want to create it. I want to add it here and make the relationship with that. So you can select the existing table option, and it will show like show the tables only in the current solution, or you want to show all the tables. So for example, if I choose like contact table should also be added on this designer, you can see the contact is also there. And if you want like contact should also be related with the call for a speaker. So for example, if the speakers are submitting the sessions, they should be related to the contact so that, I can understand like who is the participant, sorry, who is the speaker, because I'm going to store those information in the contact table. So you can simply click on contact, create relationship, and here you can decide like from which table you want to make the one-to-many relationship. Okay. So this is the way how you can do that. For example, one contact or one user can register for multiple events, right? So one contact can have multiple events. Sorry, event registration. So one contact can do the multiple event registration. So I want like this should be like a contact lookup. So if I do it like that, it will automatically created a contact lookup on the event registration. So every time if I do, if any contact is doing the event registration, I will map this contact so that I will identify like who has registered for that event. So this is the way how you can simply uh, generate an ER diagram for that, and you can play around with that. If you hit the save and exit option, it will start creating these tables. So right now, these all the tables are not available in the Dataverse except this contact one, because this I have added from here. But these tables are not yet created unless I hit save and exit. Okay. So you just need to play around with this Design Studio, sorry, this new Copilot feature. You can just play around with all this option, create new. If you want, like you can also ask for creating a new column as well. For example, like you can ask like create a new column, uh, event category in event table like this. So it should create a new column as well. I think I have spell stick typo error, but let's see. So you can see like in the event, it has automatically created the event category. Although I have provided or I had the typo mistake, but it automatically understood and the event category got created. You can undo as well, and you can start creating a new as well. So this is way how you can do that. I'm just closing this window. Yeah, so I'm just closing this window and going back to my, solution where I've already created and set up this data model, because otherwise it's going to take time. I just want to save the time, and I've already created and set up these tables for you. Okay. So once you have created all this data model, then you start creating or you start customizing your Power Pages site. Okay. So now let's go back to your Power Pages site. Go to home, edit your website. You have got your data model set up. Now let's create a first page on the portal where I want the organizer will submit the event, okay, or publish the event. So we will create a page, one for organizer, who will provide or submit the event information and publish to the website. One page we will create for the participant who will register for the event, and one page we will create it for the for the speakers who can submit their sessions. Okay, so I can use this feature create a page for event organizer where they will publish new events. Okay, and if I hit enter, so you can see like a new event organizer hub page has got created. And if I hit this, okay, so- sorry, I need to create it again. Create a page for event organizer. If they publish events. Okay, so it has created a new page called Event Publishing, share your upcoming events, and it provides some kind of layout as well. If you like it, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can delete it as well. For example, continue being keep it. If you don't like this, you can delete it. This section, for example, I'll just go here and delete this section. And what I'm going to do it, I want to show the form where event organizer could fill up that event information and publish the event. Okay, so page has got created. Now on top of that page, I have to create a form. As I said, if I have to show anything on the portal, I have to first create a page. Okay, now if you want you don't want to show this particular option in the main menu, you can go here and select move to other pages so that it will not appear as a menu option. But if you want to show it as a main menu option, you can move it to main navigation. You can also change its title as well. So go to the page setting, and here you can see the name of this page is event organizer, but I can choose it as a publish events. Okay. And this is the partial URL. It is very important, whenever you hit this particular page on a browser, this is the unique identifier of that particular URL. So you will realize that later. So you can change name anytime. It will not impact anything. But make sure, like, if you're changing the partial URL, it is not referring anywhere. Most of the time, if you are writing a JavaScript code called window.redirect, or some other redirection logic, or you are using anchor tag to redirect to a particular page, and if you make changes in this partial URL, it can break your feature. So just make sure like you don't change the partial URL frequently, so that it doesn't impact another configuration. And I have talked about the page permission, right? So here is a permission option, and here you can decide like who can access this particular page. If you select anyone, then it doesn't matter. Uh, Participant, speaker, organizer, anyone can access this page. But I want the specific user can only see that page. or the user who has a specific security, or sorry, web role can access this page. So I want to choose who can access this page. I can't choose the administrator because they already have the access to everything. I can't choose the authenticated user as well because authenticated user could be the speakers, participants, and other users. So in that case, what I'm going to do it, I'm going to create a new role and give that a name called organizer. So go to the security section, go to the web role and click on add new role. And you can see like it take me to the Power Pages Management tab. As I said, like not all the features currently supported in the Design Studio. So it taken me to the Power Pages Management tab. And here I can provide the web role called organizer, the website on which I have to apply this, and then save and close. So once it is done, I'll go back to the security section again. Since whatever I made changes in the design in the Power Pages, it will not reflect here. So first I will reload that page, reload the Design Studio, and again open the website. Now the new web role should be reflected here. Go to the event organizer, page settings, permissions. I want to choose. Okay, I think I need to click on sync here. All right, let me go again to the page settings, permissions. Okay, why it's not reflecting? Okay, let me go back to the Design Studio again. Go to apps, all. All right, okay. So the one mistake that I did it basically, if I go to the sorry, Power Pages Management tab and go to the web roles, I think I have accidentally selected the wrong one. So click on new, click on organizer, and I have accidentally selected the wrong website here. So I have to select the event hub workshop and then click save and close. Okay, and let me delete, let me select like which one I have created just now. So I'll delete this one. This I have created accidentally. Perfect. All right, now let me go back to the Design Studio and refresh this page again so that my new web role reflect here. If I go to the page settings, permission, and then here you should expect the organizer. Okay, and if I select the organizer, that means this page should only be visible to all the users who have organizer role assigned. Okay, one more thing I can do, I can just simply change this name to publish event because last time I couldn't save it, and then click OK. Perfect. So now this is there. Now any changes you are making it in the Dataverse or in the Design Studio, you always need to hit preview so that it sync the changes back to your website. So I mean, it's not like you have done changes in your backend or just refresh the page and it will immediately reflect on the portal. No, it will usually take 15 minutes of time if you don't hit refresh or sync option, because there is a default SLA of 15 minutes that Microsoft has provided, and I have seen there are a lot of client has issues about that, like why it's taking a lot of time. But this is how the product Power Pages has the limitation right now, that it is a default SLA of 15 minutes. Whatever changes or whatever new data is getting created in the Dataverse, it takes 15 minutes of time to reflect on the portal unless you hit this preview option. Okay, and this preview option you can't hit on the production, right? This is a developer environment, that's why I'm hitting this preview option uh, to access the data. Now you can see if I go to the preview, I don't see that option. I don't see the event organizer option. You can see this is the partial URL I was talking about. So, so this is basically how you can identify your page uniquely. And I am getting this error. You don't have access to this site because The logged in user is Arpit, and Arpit right now don't have the organizer role. So how can I provide this user? So if I go to the contact, as I said, like all the portal user who are registered is stored in the contact table. Okay. And you can see like my user is there. And if you go to the web authentication section, you will see like all the authentication related stuff is stored here, like the username and everything. Now, once you start using the portal, your client can ask like how many of the users are using portals, because in your contact table, you may have lot of contacts which may or may not using the portal. But if your client is asking like how many users are using portal, you can just look through this web authentication setting. You can do the advanced find, or you can just query. If any contact has the username or login enabled, that means this contact has registered on the portal. If they don't have this information in the database, that means they are the normal contact. They have not yet registered on the portal. Okay, so if I go to the general section, there is a web role option here. And right now I have the web role called organizer, but that is connected to the different website I have created just a while ago. But I need to search an organizer role that is connected to the event hub workshop that we have, that is the site that we are using right now. Okay, and then again go back to the design studio, click on the sync, because we have made the changes in the design studio in the database. And then if I go again to the portal, refresh, you will see like I can access the publish event page now. All right, now this is just a page. We have to create a form so that they can fill up that information. So there is a publish event page, and what I can do here, I can simply select this section, click on plus icon, and then maybe I can select yeah, here, and there is an option called form. So these are all the controls. You can add it on the form or on the sorry, on the page. You can display the text. You can display some images, videos. If you have some YouTube videos or some public URL available, that you can embed the videos as well. You have the buttons, iframes, spacer. If you have multiple controls on the form and you want to provide some sort of space in between, flags, breadcrumbs, card galleries, it is the new one. I'll talk about that tomorrow. Forms, multi-step forms, list, and Power BI reports. Okay, I'll select the form. And once I select the form, it asking like whether you want to describe a form to create it. I can either choose this option. So for example, like I want to create a form where organizer could submit, could publish a new event. I'll tell you like what is the current limitation of using that. So if you want to directly create that form, you can just hit that option. It will start creating a form. You can see like it has created a form, but the challenge right now, it's also created a table for me. For example, event name, organizer name, event date, and everything. Okay, but if I cancel it, and if I go to this copilot option in the right panel, data forms, hit this option, create a new form, and I'll describe here, create a new form where organizers would publish the events. And here I will describe like use event table from Dataverse for that, because I've already created an event table and I want that it create a form using that table. Okay, so if I hit enter, let's see what it does. Okay, perfect. So, okay, let's make sure your form is connected to the right table to store that submitted data. So it basically found some other tables. Either I can choose to create a new table, but I already created or set up the data model as we have explained earlier. I will choose this event table. Okay. So once I select this event table, it will automatically create a form for me. Okay. You can see here Copilot has created a form here, and it has basically created a multi-step form. Okay, what is multi-step form? You can see like this form I have to fill in the multiple steps. First step is the event details, then I need to hit next, so that I will take you I will take into the location information, then I will hit next. So whenever I have to fill the form in the multiple steps, then that is called a multi-step form. Or if I have to create a simple single form, then that form is called basic form. Okay, so what I want to do, I don't want to create the multi-step form for this particular publish event. I will create that for call for a speaker, because call for a speaker, we expect more information from the speakers. So I'll just delete this form, I'll not use it, and instead of using that, I'll just select, go to the edit form and select this new form option. I'm not going to create using Copilot. And here I need to choose the table. And of course, my table name is events. Okay. And then here I have to select the form. And you can see here this form is basically from the Dataverse. Okay. You don't need to create any HTML form or any sort of .NET elements for that. Okay. You can simply reuse the Dataverse form there, and this is the name of your form. And there are some more information you can choose in order to create that form. Data. So in the data, for example, if you are creating a form, that form is to insert the data in the Dataverse, or to update the data or existing data, or you want to show the read-only form. So it's up to you. Sometimes you have to show the insert form to insert the data into Dataverse. Sometimes you have to allow user to update the information. So then in that case, you have to choose the existing record form. And if you just want to display the information, you don't want to allow them to change, so you can choose the read only form. But here we want like the organization will submit the information, right? So we'll choose a create a new record, and then once they will submit the details, either you want to display a message like the event has been published successfully. So this will simply display a message. If you want to redirect them to a different URL or website, sometimes you want to do that. You can simply select that option, and then here you need to provide that URL. If you want to redirect to a particular page and you want to display the customized message, for example, like thank you for the submissions and other information, blah blah blah, whatever you want to display, I'll also show that as well. So then you can select a web page from here, and then it will automatically redirect once the data gets submitted. But for now, I'll simply use the display message. Once the form is submitted, you still want to show that form, or you want to hide it. That basically decide that. CAPTCHA, it said inbuilt CAPTCHA available. There are a lot of questions on the community like, can we create our own CAPTCHA? Yes, you can create it, but you have to customize that portal. You have to write your own JavaScript and HTML for that. But by default, this CAPTCHA is provided by Microsoft that you can't customize. Okay. It is mostly useful for the anonymous user, but if you want to display it for authenticated, that is also fine. But if you don't want it, you can uncheck for the authenticated user. For anonymous user, it's good from the security point of view that you enable it. Attachment, if you want like uh, the organizer should upload some data, then if you want to make it mandatory, you can select this option. If you want to allow them multiple files, you can select this option. And here you can also restrict like what kind of file you want to allow them to upload, all type of audio, document, image, and everything. Where you want to store that. You want to store that as a note attachment in Dataverse, or you want to store it in the Azure Blob Storage. So it depends on your choice. If you choose the Dataverse, of course, it will increase the capacity of your Dataverse. So it's up to you, like which option you want to store, use for the storage, and the size limit for that. Okay, and then here you can see like um choose a maximum size for each attachment file. Do not add KB or MB, just a number for note attachment. System default is 5000 KB. So that is the maximum limit, 5000 KB. You can't extend more than that. And this is the new AI feature. If you enable this option, This basically allow you to, fill the form by uploading the PDF or the document. So sometimes, for example, you already have the document or the PDF available on your local desktop that you have already filled up, and the same form you have to fill up on the portal, and you don't want to manually fill that up, right? So you want, like, if you upload that file and it automatically fill that form, so you can option choose this option. Okay, as I said, like, there are a lot of options. AI related features are currently in preview, but you should still know about it, like what are the Microsoft plans in the coming future. Okay, I hit OK, and you see, like, the form will get automatically popped up here, and you can see, like, all these fields like status, the venue, event mode, and everything is coming from the Dataverse. Okay, now again, I have created a form here, but I have not created the permissions. Okay, so if I not provide the permissions, I will get the error message that you don't have sufficient privilege to submit the data. So whenever you create a form, list, whatever components, you need to create a permission here. Click on new permission, provide the name. So for example, this is for the event. So I'll just put the keyword workshop and then event, and the table name is event, and access type. Access type, I want to give the global access because I want, like, for the demonstration purpose, I'm setting it to the global. Read, update, append, and delete, and then add role, and then set it to authenticated. Okay, once it is done, click on preview. All right, so now the page has been loaded, and you can see, like, the form has been available on the portal. And here, as I said, like, you can upload a PDF, image, or some other document to fill this form automatically. So that is the AI feature right now in the preview. And here you can fill all that information. And this all the information is coming from the Dataverse. The date, time, and everything's, the event mode, venue name, event categories, organizer, event status, and everything. And you can see, like, attachment option is also there. And once you hit submit, it will store that information in the Dataverse. All right. So this is the one way how you can create one event for publish event. Now let's create one more table quickly, not the table, a page called call for a speaker. So I'll take the exam, help of design, sorry, the Copilot. I will say, like, create a page for call for a speaker, create a page for speakers called call for speakers, where they could submit the session proposals. And I will also mention, like, use call for speaker table for that. Okay, hit enter. Now for that purpose, now the basic difference between the basic form and the multi-step form is, when you have to take a very limited information from the customer, you don't need really you don't really need the multi-step form. Multi-step form is basically needed when you have lot of information you have to take as input from the customer, and you have to bind multiple forms in the form of steps. Okay, so, and you can see, like, in order to submit the event information, we have only limited fields. So we don't really need the multi-step form, but for call for a speaker, we actually need a lot of information from the speakers, their personal information, their social media information, their session details, their PDF attachment, and everything. Okay, and here you can see, like, it has already automatically created the multi-step form. And in the first step, speaker information, I'm asking for company, email, phone number, speaker name, LinkedIn profile. And in the next step, we have got the session details like title, description, session labels and everything. Of course, there are a couple of fields which has got added here. We don't really need it. For example, session status and everything. And then that we can also change it, of course. Okay. And then the proposal summary. And here they can simply final submit that. Now you want to keep that form or you want to delete that form. So I will keep it as is. And of course, this basically linked to a new table called call for a speaker. So I need to set up a new permission as well so that I can access this table, call for a speaker. And then as of now, I'm providing global access, but later on we will check the permissions because it's always a good practice that you don't keep the global access by default for everyone. Okay, but just for the demonstration purpose, I'm keeping it global access, but later we will change it to the specific access type. I'll set the roles to authenticated because I want like anyone who is registering on the site who are signed up on the website, they can submit their session proposal. Okay, so I'm just selecting the authenticated user here and click save. Now you will realize there is no page I have created for that. So what I can do, I can simply go to the page, other ways to create a page and create a form, create a page called call for a speaker. I'll keep it as a main navigation option. Start from blank, add, and then I'll select the option called form, new form, and then here to select the table called call for a speaker. Sorry, call for a speaker. Select form. Okay, so I have to select his proposal summary. Okay, let me select this. And then the same information we have got like data on submit, captcha, and everything that you can select here. Just one thing I want to check here because we don't want to show the, just a minute. A moment, I'll just delete this. Equal. All right, let me go to the first in the design studio. And if I see the multi-step form, I can see like there is a form got created called call for a speaker and then start step speaker information. All right, so I'll create a new page now. Call for a speaker. Create a page for speakers. Speaker. Where speakers submit their session results. Okay, so it has created a page for call for a speaker. I'll keep it and then I've already created a multi-step form called call for a speaker. So we'll select that and everything is set up. I'll just click on preview and see. Okay, so you can see like I have created a speaker proposal page, and here you can see like just forget about the layout and the branding and everything that we can always change it as using the CSS and other things. But here you can see like I have a multi-step form, and there you can see like speaker name, session details, and the proposal summary. So the speakers can go to this page and fill up their session proposals. All right. So let me delete a couple of things from here. Maybe I can delete this image. So I just want to remove the unnecessary things from here. I'll keep one section, click multi-step form, and then again sync it. Okay, now it looks better. Perfect. All right, so we have created multiple forms now. So this is the multi-step form example, and this is the example of basic form where it is only one form is there. Now imagine, being a participant, being an organizer, if I have submitted multiple events, so I want to see all the events, registered events. So for example, let me submit some of the events, like for example, Power Pages training, written the description, date I'll randomly select 20, 21, online, and then submit. Okay, all right. So if I go to the publish event, I think this is accidentally got added, so I'm deleting that. Now preview. Okay, let me change the layout of this as well. Okay. Okay, so again, go here, event name, Power Pages training, description, 20, 30, 20, online, submit. So you can see now the new event got published. Again, I'll go to the publish event. So right now you see like there is a display message that I have configured, but if you want to redirect user to a different page, how you can do that? So go to the design, click on a new page. So for example, like this, and you can ask for a create a new page, uh, create a new success page to display uh, the success message whenever an organizer publish a new event. Okay. So I want to create a new success page that should display whenever a new event get published by the event organizer. So this will create a new page. You can see like it has created a new page here. I'll keep it, but I don't want to show it in the main navigation. So I'll go to and select it as a move as other pages. And now here it displays the success and your event has been published successfully. But still, if you want to change this message, you can still use the Copilot option here. Select the Copilot. You can change the tone, make it shorter, make it longer, or you can rewrite as well. So you can see like there are a couple of ways to write it. Rewrite that again. And if you want like add more details for Copilot, so I can write about like uh, write more information about how to publish a new event along with success message. So it will be, the description will be more elaborative, like we are pleased to inform that your event has been published successfully. To publish a new event, simply navigate to the event creation page and all. Okay, so I'll put it like this. And instead of now I have got the event published page available. So what I want is, whenever a new event got published, I want user to redirect to this page. Okay, so go to the publish event, go to the page settings. Uh, no, just a minute. Publish event. Okay, so it is not the page setting, it's the form setting. Yeah. So go to the form that is there on the page. So this is the form. Click on the edit form option, and here you can see on submit option. And then instead of display a message, you can choose redirect to a page. And there you can select event published page that you have created just a while ago, and then hit OK. Okay. And then hit preview. And then we'll create a new event called, maybe now fill that up and call it Power Apps Training. All right. And then hit submit. So now you can see you will be redirected to the success page. And then again, you can fill more events now. So we have already created two kind of component. First is the basic form like this. And then you have got the multi-step form. Now, what I want is, being a participant, when you go to the website, you should see list of all the events. So for that purpose, we are going to create a new component called list. Okay. So again, we'll create a new page and we'll ask like create a new page for participants where they can view all events. If I hit enter, so it has created a page called upcoming events. But it is just a simple branding. But what I want to do it, I want to create or show a list here. So what I'm going to do it, I'll just simply come here. I'll just create a list over here. So add a section, one column, click here, and there is an option called list. Okay. So list is basically used to display the list of data. All right. Now, in order to show the list, I don't need to create any subgrade or the grid. I can directly reuse the views, the Dataverse views on the portal. Okay. In the similar way, we could use the Dataverse forms or the table forms on the portal to create the form. In the similar way, you can reuse the views as well. And whatever properties you are applying, you can also apply there as well. So we want to show the list of events that got published. So we'll choose the event table here, and I will select the views called active events. If you want, you can create your own views as well. I always recommend, and from the best practice perspective, never use the out of box views that has got created during the table creation, because sometimes those views are being used by the developers who are working in the model driven apps. Okay. And if they make any changes in the model driven app views, then it will make changes on the portal as well. So it's always a good practice that you keep two different views, one for model driven app and one for portal. But it depends on uh, business scenario to the different business scenario. But it always recommended, if you're creating a form, keep it different from the portal form, sorry, the model driven app form. And the same goes with the views, because imagine, if the developers who are working on the model driven app, they have created some new fields and they are changing the layout of the model driven app form, it will impact the portal form as well, because sometimes the model driven app forms layout and the views are different from the portal. So it's always a good practice that you keep it different. Okay, but just for the demonstration, I'll just keep active events. This is the list, and there are a couple of more options on the list called action. For example, like you want to directly allow user to create a new record from the list, the way you get option on the model driven app. For example, if I go to the model driven app, if you go to any views, for example, this is the view I'm using for website, and on top of it you get the new option to directly create a new record. Okay, in the similar way you want to have that create a new record option. I don't want to choose that. If you want to allow user to download all the list data in the form of Excel in the same way you do it in the model driven app. You also provide the option at the row level. So this is basically at the list level. But if you want to allow the user to edit the record, delete the record, or view the details, then you can also provide these options as well. I'll keep it simple. I'll in the more section option, you also have the option to enable search, how many number of record you want to display, and then click done. I have already created the permission for this event table, so I'll not create again. I'll just hit preview and let's see how it looks like. All right, so a new event list got created, and here you can see I had created two events and it shows two events here. Now imagine you want to customize this view. You want to show more columns here. If you want to show more columns, then you don't need to do anything from the portal perspective because it's just a view. So you just need to go to the data section and you can see like there is a table called events, and go to the views, and here you will find that active events view. So whatever you configuration or changes you have to do it here. Click on view column, and then you can add others columns here as well, like for example event mode, and if you want to add the start date and then end date like this, and you can simply drag and drop to adjust like this, created on. And I also want to add the status as well so that people know like this event is in the published state or not. So like that. All right. So this is the way how you can simply make the changes directly in the views, save and publish. So that's why I'm saying, for example, like you are using this active events views in the model driven app for the internal Dataverse user, and they may not want to have this additional columns. Okay, but the portal user you want to show this additional column. So in that case, it's always a good idea to keep those views different. Okay, because one is you are creating for internal user and one is you are creating for external user. Now, if I hit sync, and if you go back to the portal, and then you will realize there are some more columns added here. Okay. And now you can also play around with this. For example, you want like when the user will, as a participant, if I click on this event, it will open a form and it will display the event information. Okay. So as I said, like we have already created the forms here, but in this case, you need to create a form. But the mode should be the existing, sorry, updating the existing record instead of creating a new record. Okay, so this is the way how you can do that. Perfect. So this is the example of how you can display the list, forms, and tables. There is one more thing that I want to show. It is the metadata part. So we have covered this managing permissions and everything. Now, metadata is very interesting fact feature. For example, like as I said, like portal is built on top of the Dataverse. So we set up all the data models, for example, forms, views, especially when you are creating a new columns. So for example, if I go to the events, go to the forms, and if I open this information, you will see like there are a couple of fields here. Um, Let me add it first. So this is a very, very important setting I'm going to discuss with you, that most of the portal developers are not aware about it. Okay, so you can see like this is the event form, and here there are a lot of columns. There are a lot of columns that I've created, and these all the columns are displayed on the portal as well. I can also create some new tabs. I can use sections, subgrid, lot of components I can create on that. Okay. Now imagine the same components or the same metadata, we are exposing it to the portal, but sometimes we have to keep something different. For example, I want I want, for example, there is a event mode, and in the event mode, you can see like this field is not mandatory in the Dataverse. Okay, but I want like this field should be mandatory on the portal. So there is a difference in the metadata between Dataverse and the portal. But in the backend, we are using the same Dataverse component, right? So when you want to override the property of Dataverse metadata, then you always have to use a property called use the component called metadata, and that is not yet available in the Design Studio. You always have to go to the Power Pages Management, and that is only available for forms. Okay, so if you go to the basic form, I just created a basic form to publish the event. This is the one, and if you can see, there is a tab called Basic Form Metadata. Okay, if you go to the Basic Form Metadata, click Basic Form Metadata, and here you see like what kind of metadata property you can change. So there is a type, and here you can see like you can change or override the properties of attribute, notes, sections, subgrid, tabs, and the timeline. Okay, so for example, like I want to change the property of attribute, so I'll select the property type as attribute, and I was talking about the event mode, right? So I'll select that field event mode, and here you can see what property I can change. I can change the label as well. Okay, so imagine like the label of the event mode, you want to show some different label on the portal, because sometimes if you are exposing the internal information to the customer, you want to display some meaningful text or the messages, right? So for example, instead of writing event mode, you want to type it, please enter event mode, something like this. Okay, and then there is an option called required option. Field is required. So if I set this as a required, it will make the field mandatory only for the portal. It will not the field make mandatory for the Dataverse. Okay, because if I make this field mandatory at the Dataverse level, for example, if I go here and if I make this field, go here, go to the edit table column. So there are two ways. Okay, either I can make this field required from here, or either I can do it from here. If I do it from here, then it will make this field mandatory at the Dataverse level. Dataverse level means no matter from where you are inserting the data in this field, Power Automate or Web API or Excel import or manual data creation, you need to fill this information up. Okay, but if you want like, oh, I don't want to make it field mandatory at the Dataverse level, I want only to make it mandatory whenever customer are filling the forms from the portal, then you need to use this option. Okay, and here you can provide the message as well. For example, like please fill event mode, or event mode is a mandatory field to fill, like this. Okay, and then save and close. Now if I go to the Design Studio and hit sync, and if you go to the preview, and if I go to the publish event, Okay, I think event mode field is not there in the form. Just a minute. Just go here, basic form. Time. Okay, so now you can see the label of the event mode has got changed to please enter event mode, but in the Dataverse, it is still as event mode. Okay, and also the field has got mandatory. So if I don't fill that field, you will get the error message. Event mode is a mandatory field to fill up. All right. So this is basically how you can use the metadata. Metadata is not only about changing the field mandatory and other things. You will realize like there are a lot of other things as well. For example, one more example I want to give you. Here there is a field called organizer. Okay. And of course, the organizer is the logged in user who is already logged in on the portal. Okay. And I want like this organizer should be auto populate with the logged in user. Okay. And instead of I have to manually select that option. So what I can do, I need to go to the basic form metadata again, click here. Again, it's a type of attribute and select field organizer. And in order to pre-populate, there is an option called pre-populate field. I'll simply ignore the default value, type as current portal user because I want to auto populate the organizer field with the current portal user. From which field I can select here from contact because it's a lookup field. I want to auto populate with the contact one. If I hit save and go back to preview, you can see like organizer has been auto populated with the logged in user information. Okay, sometimes you don't want to show this particular organizer field, and in the background when the user will submit that information, you want to store this information in the Dataverse, right? Because being an organizer, I should not be able to see this field. It doesn't make sense. It should auto populate this information and store it in the Dataverse. So I can simply use the metadata, auto populate this information, and can hide it using CSS as well. So this is the example how you can override the property, and this is also from the multilingual capabilities as well. So sometimes whenever you want to change the label of the sections of the tabs or the fields, you will get the different language options as well. Okay. So for example, if I want to change the label, I can straight away change the label in the English language and in the Swedish language. So I don't need to do the Excel export translation or import translation in order to do that. So this is the advantage of overriding the label from here. If you want to change the label for both internal user and the external user, you can directly do it from the Dataverse. But if you want to only change it for the external user, then you can use this property. All right, perfect. Okay, so let's go back to our next topic is the content snippet. Okay, what is the content snippet now? So as the name suggests, whenever you have to play around with the content of the portal. What is content? Content means this is the content. Welcome to Event Hub. If you are displaying any greeting message, if you are displaying any error message, if you are displaying any advertisement message, so these kind of information are considered as a content. Okay, any text string, any messages, any greeting message, whatever it is, any warning, whatever it is. So instead of hard coding those content or instead of using those content directly in your code, you can use the content snippet. Okay, it's a very useful component to use it. Now, what is the advantage of using content snippet to keep all the content? I'll tell you. So in order to use the content snippet, you first need to go to the Power Pages Management tab because content snippet is not yet available in the Design Studio. Okay, so you always have to go to the Management tab. And once you go to the management tab in the left panel, you will see the content snippet. And these are list of content snippets are already available. But for example, I want to give an example like there is a greeting message called Welcome to Event Hub, and there is a subtitle called Your Platform for Event Management. Okay, now where it is written exactly, I want to see like where this message is written right now. So if I go to the Design Studio, go to the home, this is the way how it is written right now. Okay, now if I go to the edit code, so this is the way how you can see like what is the code written in the background for that. So you can directly open that the code in the VS Code online version. I'll discuss about the VS Code desktop and the online version in the tomorrow session more, but this is how you can simply understand like if you click on the edit code, it will take you to the VS Code online version, and here you can see all the pages or forms that you have created in your Power Pages in the left panel. And here you can see the HTML or the CSS or JavaScript written on, you know, in the backend. Okay. Now I'm talking about the home page. So I just expanded the web page like this. Go to the home page, and there are three sections for these three files for each pages: CSS, JavaScript, and the HTML part. If I click on HTML, you will see all the text string or the content are hard coded right now. Okay, welcome to Event Hub, and there are a lot of other things like join our exciting events and everything. Now, this is also a good way. You can keep it like this. But imagine tomorrow you have introduced a new language in your portal called Swedish or German or French, whatever it is. Okay, it might be possible you start building your portal with the English language, but after a year or after a couple of months you realize your client is saying like you want to enable this portal for the multiple regions. Now in that case, it is not only about this particular page. You may have hundred of pages you have built for your website, and you might have created this kind of hard coded content. So of course, your German customer will not like to see the messages, greeting messages in the English language. They will prefer to have the content, the error message, the greeting message in their own language. Okay. So how you can do that? So from the day one, if you are doing the development, if you are hard coding the content, don't do this. Don't do that. You have to keep it in the content snippet. Now, how you can do that? Copy it like this. So this content I have to replace with the content snippet. Go to the content snippet, click here, new content snippet, and just paste this in the value section. Okay, whatever content you have to show it, place it in the value, give it a meaningful and the unique name. So I'm just giving this name workshop slash event title, not the event title. I'll just give uh, greeting slash title message. All right. So this is the name I want to give. Make sure this name should be unique. Okay. It should not be contradict with any other content snippet. So you can decide any of the format. It's not any thumb rule for that, but that should be unique and should be meaningful. Being a developer, you should be able to find it. What name you have suggested. Keep the same name for the display name. Select your website. So your website is the Event Hub, and then the most important thing is your content snippet language. So this is the advantage of keeping your content or the hard coded string in the content snippet, because it always associated with a language. Okay, so this I want to show it in the English language, so I'll keep it like this, English. Okay, and we'll save it. Now the same thing, if I have, imagine I have a Swedish language enabled or some other languages enabled, then in that case, I will create a new content snippet with the same name, display name, website name, like this, and then we'll select the content snippet Swedish. And in that case, I will simply go here, put English to Swedish translation, put it like this, copy it, and then go back to content snippet, pasted it over here. So this you can do for multiple languages, but always remember the name of content snippet should remain same. Okay. And then we'll save it. Okay. Now the advantage of doing it, copy it and then go back to your design studio here. Now, what is the syntax of using it? I think if you see some existing web templates, for example, if I open the header template, Microsoft has already used some of the content snippet here. For example, this. So this is the syntax you can use it. So you can simply copy it, snippet, and then go back to your home page, and here just paste it. Just remove this particular part. Perfect. Now here, instead of this, you can just copy your name of the content snippet and paste it over here. That's it. So now doing that, you have replaced the hard-coded string value from the snippet. Now the advantage of doing that, once you load your website, it will automatically detect which region you belongs to. Now, how you decide? Because whenever you uh, registered on the website, you always have to select your preferred language. Okay. So if you don't want to select your preferred language, so for example, like if because I have my own portal, so let me show it for that. Because for this portal that we have created, I don't have language enabled, but this is the portal I have created my own. So if I click on edit and if I go to the preview, so usually, whenever you have enabled the multiple languages on the portal, you get the language option in the toolbar so that you can decide like which language you want to choose your content should be translated to. So you can see like this is a different portal that I have created, and here you can see like I have enabled English and Swedish language. Okay. So once you select the Swedish language, since I have not completely configured that. But so once you select the English Sweden language, it will automatically convert this title to the Swedish language. The Swedish content snippet will be automatically loaded. Okay, you don't need to write any kind of switch statement or if else statement. It will automatically detect that. And another option is that if you have, for example, if I simply sign in, let me show you one more thing quickly. So for example, if you don't want to switch the language multiple times, if you go to the profile section in the portal, you have an option called preferred language. So while doing the registration, if you select like which language, for example, you can see here, you can select your preferred language. Maybe you can select the Swedish like this and save it. Now, every time whenever you log into the portal, your content will be immediately converted to the Swedish language, and all the content snippet will automatically convert this message to the Swedish, right? So you can understand like what is the advantage of using content snippet, and it's not only about this kind of text string. If you are writing your custom code, you are writing a JavaScript code, you might need to throw the error messages sometimes. You want to show the display messages sometimes, validation error messages. A lot of things are there. Don't keep it or don't hard code it in your code. Always keep it in the content snippet and you can refer it wherever you want. So it's not only that you can refer it in the web template, but if you're writing it in the basic form or multi-step form, whatever, wherever it is, in the JavaScript, in the liquid code, you can just simply use the syntax. All right. So this is the uses of the content snippet. Now, how you can write the reusable JavaScript code in the Power Pages. All right. Let's go back to your Power Portal again. And then first of all, you should understand like what are the different options you have got to write the JavaScript. Okay. So I'll take 5 minutes of break. before going ahead with the rest of the topic. And then after 5 minutes of break, I'll cover the last four topics for today. I'll just quickly check the participant whether they are able to access everything. So can you just give the thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear and you are able to demonstrate everything? Perfect. All right. Yeah. A lot of people has a questions. Raj, you have a question. Can you just put it in the chat, please? I'll answer it. I'll take a 5 minutes break and we'll right back. Yeah. Thank Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Let me check the next topic. Hmm. Okay, so now we have the option called writing reusable JavaScript in the Power Pages. So I was explaining there are different ways to write the code in the Power Pages. In the tomorrow session, I'm going to discuss about more about the extending and the customizing the portal. But let's have a look like what are the different option we have to customize the portal or to write the JavaScript. Okay. So the first thing I'll take you to the Power Pages Management tab, okay? Because here you will get more clarity, like what are the components you will get it. So the first component where you can write the code is the content snippet, okay? So content snippet, you already learned you can provide the content, text, string, and messages. But here you can also write the HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript as well. If you change the type it to HTML, okay? So sometimes you might need to create a code and keep it in the content snippet, and you may want to reuse it on the multiple pages. Okay. So in that case, you can use the content snippet. You can keep your JavaScript or some reusable code snippet here. And just the way I have included the text content snippet in the HTML like this. You can also include the HTML or the script, JavaScript content HTML as well. Okay. So write your JavaScript here like this. Write your JavaScript, CSS, and everything here, and then you can reuse it there. So this is the first place you can write your JavaScript, CSS, or HTML. The second option you have is the basic form. So we have created a couple of forms today, one form for the call for a speaker, one for publishing events. So if you want to sometimes have to write the code on the form specific to the form, okay? So in that case, you just go to the additional settings option. And then if you go down and at the bottom, you will find this custom JavaScript option, okay? Microsoft has introduced this Visual Studio Code option directly here. So you don't need to write the code in this snippet. You can directly click on Open Visual Studio Code, and this will take you to that respective form, and then you can you can directly start changing your code there. And once your code is done, like you can see the same code is opened in the Design Studio, sorry, in the VS Code Online. And the same thing, once your development is done, you can just simply save it, and your changes will be sync into the Dataverse. Okay. One thing is very important here. Whatever code you are writing in the basic form or in the content snippet or whatever JavaScript you are writing, it should be document object model based. Okay. You can't write the model driven app JavaScript here. So that is not supported. Model driven app basically follow the client object model architecture, where you use the form context, execution context, XRM models, and everything. So that is not supported on the portal. So you have used the document object model, for example, document.get element by ID, or if you are using jQuery, then $.hide.show, these kind of syntaxes you have to use it. Okay. Now this is the second. Then you have got the list as well. So same thing, if you open any of the list, you have got, if you go to the bottom, there is a custom JavaScript section here as well. So sometimes you are displaying a list, as I can see a question like, can I change the look and feel, or can I do some additional customization on the list? Yes, of course, you can do it. Um, Sometimes you have to customize the list just to change the look and feel of it, so that you can change it using CSS. But sometimes you want to add some additional component, you want to customize something, you want to write some custom JavaScript for that. So for that purpose, you can write your custom JavaScript here. Okay. I don't remembering right now the example where you exactly need to write the JavaScript, but there are many examples you will find it where your client wants to customize something, you want to highlight something in the the list, or if you have any business scenario where you want to customize the list, please drop me in the Teams message. Okay, so that we will understand like what are the requirements you have to customize the list. But this is the option where you can write your code to customize the list as well. So these three options, and then you have got the web page. Okay, so web page is nothing, it's just a page. So whatever we are using the page, it is the same. But in the Power Pages management, it is calling as a web page. So whenever you create any page, for example, I'll take the example of upcoming events. When you open a page, so before explaining where to write the code, there is very important thing that you need to understand is a localized content. Okay, what is localized content? Localized content means each web page will be associated with some child pages, depends on the language that you have enabled in your portal. So right now in the portal, I have enabled two languages, English and Swedish. Okay. So you can see like this is my root page, upcoming events, but this root page is connected with two child pages. Sorry, localized content, not the child pages. It is connected with two localized content. And these localized content are similar to the web page, the root web page. The only advantage of creating two different replica of the pages is it might be possible that for English page, you want to display some other information, or you want to write some different logic or some different customization. And for Swedish language, you want to do some different thing on the page. Okay. So just to keep the customization different for different languages, you keep the two different localized content. That's why we call it as a localized content. Okay. So for example, if I open this first localized content, but don't confuse with that. It is a web page only, but it is associated with a different language. So you can see like this is also a page, but it is associated with the web page language called Swedish language. And here you can write the code in the copy HTML section. Okay, so this is the first control where you can write your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you go a little bit down, there is a one more option called custom JavaScript. So here you can also write the JavaScript. So sometimes you have to write the JavaScript mix up with the HTML and the CSS. So in that case, you can use this copy HTML section where you can see like you have the HTML and you can also write the CSS by using a styling tag, or you can also have the script also by using the script tag. So if you want to use all three together, then you can use this copy HTML option. But if you want to write only a script part, then you can come to this custom JavaScript section and write it here. All right. So this is all about. So you can see like this is for the Sweden, but sometimes like for example, I want to have a different HTML for Sweden, but for English language, I want to have a different HTML. So I will open the English language page, okay, associated with English, and will provide a different content over here. All right. So this is how you can write the code in the web page as well. The another option that you have is the web templates. Web templates is not associated with anything. It is a standalone component. And here you can also write JavaScript, HTML, CSS. The advantage of using web template here is you can also write some additional things like you can also write the liquid code. You can also use the fetch XMLs. We will talk about that tomorrow, that how you can create a custom page using liquid fetch XML and everything. But writing the code in the web template is like a standalone component you are creating. Microsoft has recently introduced a new component called web template component that you can also use it as a component to write the reusable code. Now these are all the components where you can write your code, but how you can write the reusable code, because there could be a time where for example like you want to do the email validation, or you want to do the phone number validation, and that phone number field or the email number field may exist on the multiple pages or the multiple forms on the website, and each time you cannot write the 10 to 20 line of code to validate that, right? So instead of writing that, you can use a web template component, okay, to reuse that code. So how you can do that? You can see like I have created a web template called maybe phone number validation. Yep. So I have created a web template called phone number validator. Okay. And this phone number validator is nothing. It just simply, it's simple as JavaScript that actually check whether this particular phone number, it is in the correct format or not. Okay. So I'm simply using the regular expression. How did I generate this code? You can also leverage the Copilot Studio option, sorry, Copilot option in the VS Code Online. So you can see like this is the VS Code Online. I'll go to the Copilot icon in the left panel and I can simply write JavaScript code for form field validation to check the phone number field value is valid format. So these are some of the suggestions, but you can write your own questions in your natural language for email validations, date of birth validations, and everything. So for example, if I hit this option, so it will generate a code for me. So now I can directly copy that code from here and can use it somewhere. So you can see like it has automatically generated the code. Either I can copy it from here and paste it anywhere in my portal, or you can directly option this insert option. So for example, you are working on this HTML page and you want like directly insert this particular JavaScript in your HTML. So you can just click this icon. This will insert your JavaScript in your HTML. So this is also a way how you can take the help of Copilot to generate the code and to to expedite your development process. Now, this is the code that I've generated that actually validate the phone number, which is in the correct format. Now, now imagine this validator I have to use on the multiple pages. So the everything in this code will remain same, the logic, the regular expression and everything. The only thing that will change is the field name. So why don't I make this dynamic? Okay. So this whole code I have written as is, but instead of using this field name, I just taken this as a parameter. So this is a liquid template syntax. It's just a simple syntax. How you can assign is basically used to initialize a variable, like the way you initialize a variable in the JavaScript and the .NET. Assign is basically a keyword that you use it in the liquid to assign a variable, initialize a variable. So I have initialized a variable called field name, and this is the parameters dot field name. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to use this web template in the different pages or in the different forms and will pass field name as a parameter. Okay, so how can I do that? I'll simply go to the uh, basic form. So this is my basic form basically, and we'll open this basic form, go to the additional settings where we can write the JavaScript. So imagine I have to perform the uh, phone number validation on this particular form. So go to the additional settings and you can see I have written just single line of code here. Include phone number validator. Phone number validator is the name of that web template. Include is a keyword that is basically used to include that particular code into my this basic form. And this is the parameter that I'm passing. Field name equal to telephone 2. So this is the HTML element ID. You can simply go to the portal and find the HTML element ID of anything. For example, this is the business phone. Right click here, go to inspect. Okay, and this is the ID, telephone 1. So you need to provide this unique element ID. And for example, you have a multiple phone number fields on the same page. So you can simply provide for the mobile number, just include this line. And this will ensure like your validation is working on this form and other forms as well if you want to include this line. Right? So this is how you can write the reusable code in your portal. Perfect. So now let's move on to the next topic, that is styling and the customizing the UI. I know like we are extending the time, so I'll take 15-20 minutes more to cover the rest of the three topics. Okay, so let's talk about the styling and the customizing the UI. So styling and customizing the UI is one of the most common requirement on the portal. So how you can customize the styling and the UI. So there are basically different ways to do that. And it basically depends on the requirement, how you want to style your portal. Okay. The first thing, you want to apply the CSS on a specific page. Okay. So you can see like in the left panel, I have many pages like home, upcoming events, success, submission successful and everything. And now I want to apply the CSS only on this upcoming events page, right? So what I can do, I can simply go to the management tab here. I will go to the web page because that's a page basically. And if I go to the upcoming event section, I will of course open the page associated with the language, for example, English language. Go to the advanced section. If I go down, you can see there is a custom CSS option. All right. So custom CSS is basically an option where you can write your own CSS. So for example, like I have a page called upcoming events, and I want to, for example, maybe I want to change the hover color of this particular list. Okay. Or I want to do anything. I mean, anything I want to change it from the styling perspective on this list. So I want to change on this specific page. So I will go to this page and where it is. Yeah. So I will write my CSS here simply like this. Like I'll just simply give in an example like this. And here you can write your own CSS, for example, color, red, like this. So this is how you can simply write your CSS as well. So this is the first option. If you have to change the CSS at the page level, then this is how you can do that. Okay. And you can of course do it from the Design Studio as well, because there you will not get the best editor. So for example, like if you want to change it from the Design Studio, then you can simply expand the web page. And for example, you want to change the CS4 event overview, expand that, and you will find that file from here as well. So either you can directly write your CSS here, or you can go to the management tab and you write your CSS here. Okay. That is the first way. Second way to change the styling of your Power Pages is the styling tab. In the styling tab, you have got couple of themes that Microsoft has provided so that you can directly apply it. For example, you want to apply this particular theme. So you can simply select this and it will automatically apply this theme to you. Okay. And not only this theme basically apply on the complete Power Pages site. Okay. So like for example, title, heading, buttons, hyperlinks, everything will get changed. In the web page level, you will only change the specific element. All right. Now I don't want to do that, so I'll discard this. But these are the themes available for you. But what happen if you want to create your own theme, or you want to take the help of Copilot? So for example, like I'm creating a website for a Capgemini, okay, and I want like what kind of themes I can use for the Capgemini. Then I can go to the pages, ask for the Copilot, and there is an option called create a color theme. And you will see like there are a couple of options like create a color theme using blue colors for a software company, create a color theme for summer colors, create a color theme for that's a neutral. If I write like create a color theme for Capgemini, I mean it will automatically detect like what kind of themes or what kind of color combination Capgemini use. So like Capgemini use these kind of colors for their logos and their website design. So you can see like it automatically detected and provided me the brand color and the more color. I can simply hit the apply theme and it will apply all the themes to my Power Pages site. Okay. So this is the point number 2, how you can apply the CSS. The point number 3, how you can apply your custom CSS. That is one of the most common requirement, that how you can write your own custom CSS. So once you click on the three dots, there is an option called manage CSS. So when you click on the manage CSS, you will find there are three bootstrap CSS you will find. Not the bootstrap, you will find three default CSS. Bootstrap mean theme.css and the portal basic theme CSS. These themes are the foundation of your Power Pages site. So as you know, like whenever I created a Power Pages site, it comes with some default layout, brandings and everything. So that layout branding defined by these three CSS. Okay, the foundation is Bootstrap because the whole portal is designed on top of the Bootstrap version. and now portal support Bootstrap 5 version. Okay, so these are the three Bootstrap CSS that we can use it. Bootstrap theme and the portal basic theme. But if you want, like if you want to use your own CSS, that you can upload your own CSS file as well. Okay. So for example, like I want to change so if I go to the portal, I want all the buttons should be displayed in the blue color, and I put if I hover on the button, it should be display the yellow color like this. Okay, because if I have uh, imagine 200 or 300 buttons all over the portal, I cannot go to the individual pages and change that CSS and everything. So in that case, I can create a CSS file. So you can see like I have created my own CSS called button style.css. If I hit three dots and if I click on edit code, it will take me to the design studio. And here I can write the CSS file, whatever I want. So you can see like I have created my own CSS. Since I am, using the existing CSS file here, for example, like this button and the button primary, because this button primary is defined basically inside this theme.css or the portal basic theme.css. So I have to override that, because whenever you apply the CSS, the first preference will be the out of box CSS one. If you have your own control, then of course your CSS will be applied. But if any out of box control, if you want to apply the CSS, first whatever out of box CSS styling is there, that will be applicable. If you have to override that CSS with your own CSS, then you have to write this particular line where it is. Yeah, so you have to write this not important line so that you can override the property of it. Okay, so this is how I'm using like I want to change the color of background is blue, and whenever if someone put the hover, then I change it to yellow, and this will make sure like the whole portal, if you can see like all the buttons have been changed to the blue color and the hover is changed to yellow. So this is the one way how you can do the changes also. You can write your own CSS and you can apply the CSS on top of the out of box one. Okay. Now the third one is the Bootstrap CSS. So Microsoft recommend if you are a very good UI developer or if you have a good UI developer in your team and you are capable to change the existing CSS, then of course you can do that. But in that case, you need to take the backup and you are allowed to change the existing CSS in that case. Okay, but most of the time, you don't need to change the whole CSS of the portal. You only need to change some incremental changes. For example, like you only want to change the font size, you only want to change the background color of the form, you only want to change the labels properties, font families, or the buttons controls. So these kind of incremental change you always want to do. So that kind of things you can always manage it using custom CSS. But if you want to have a full control of CSS or the styling or the branding of your website, then you can allow to change all these three CSS. So now the question is, can I change the bootstrap min.css? Yes, you can also do that. And for that, you need to go to the bootstrap website where they provide a lot of themes, a lot of styling, brandings, and everything. You can download the bootstrap from there and upload it in your portal. But again, I'm saying if you have a good UI developer in your team, if you have a good expertise in the user experience or CSS and the styling, then only it is allowed to change. Okay, otherwise you can manage it using custom CSS as well. So this is the another way to do that. One more hidden way that people are not usually aware about to change the CSS is using basic form metadata. So for example, like I have this particular let me see whether I have applied here. Let me open the publish event. So for example, you can see like there is a description field on the portal in the publish event form, and I want to display some text message here. I want to display some description message here that will help user to provide the meaningful description. Okay. Now, what I want, wherever I'm providing this description, it should be available in the red color. Okay. So first thing, if I go to the basic form metadata and I have already created a description metadata for description field, and here there is an option called show instructions and messages. So if I go down, I think there it is. Yeah. So there is a feature called description and instruction. So this feature basically allow to put an additional message, some instructions that help user to fill the fields or the forms. So for example, I have just put it a description called provide meaningful description for the event, something like this. And I want like not only on this field, wherever I will provide the description, I will change this color to red color. So if I don't use this basic form metadata feature, so there is a feature called CSS class. Okay. So I have created a CSS class called custom description. And if I go to my custom CSS that I've shown you just a while ago, I have created my own CSS called color red. Okay. And this custom description is my own class. I have my custom class and I have put it this in the CSS class property. This will ensure like this custom description property will apply here. If I'm not aware about this property, I may need to write the CSS or the JavaScript for this specific element, either on the CSS or in the JavaScript. Okay. So this is also one of the hidden feature that most of the developers are not aware about it. Like you can simply create your own CSS class and then you can apply directly on the CSS class property on the basic form metadata and you can directly apply that. All right. So this is all about how you can change the styling and the customizing the UI. Now the next topic and the last topic is how you can set up the Azure AD B2C authentication and how you can automate that process. Okay. So as I said, like in the Power Pages, we have many ways to integrate that identity providers. So let me go here and pages. I think this is the one. Yeah. So if I go here, go to the security section, and you can see like there are list of identity providers are there that you can enable. But the question is, which is the default identity provider? Because by default, you always use the local authentication, and but this has been deprecated and it is not allowed to use on the production. You can use it in your test or UAT environment just for the testing the portal, checking the registration and everything. But it is not recommended for the production environment. So then what is the recommended way then? Recommended way is Azure AD B2C. Okay. So in order to set up the Azure AD B2C, you just need to click here, click on the edit configuration. And once you click on the edit configuration, usually you will get all this value blank. Okay. So we have to fill all this value step by step. And how you can get this all the information. So first of all, in order to fill all this information or get these details, you need to go to the Azure Active Directory. Okay. So Azure Active Directory and the Azure AD B2C directory are totally different. These are two different directories and you need to have a appropriate license. And I think if you have the Active Directory license, if you have to set up the Azure AD B2C, you need to have the Azure AD B2C tenant available. Okay. As you can see, like I am in the Azure AD B2C tenant right now. And here you can see there is an option called user flow. So user flow is a term used in the Azure AD B2C, but it is nothing. It's just a authentications options you want to display on the login screen. Okay. So whenever people will log into your portal or your website, what are the options you want to show them? You want to show them the sign up option. You want to show the login option. You want to show the password reset option, profile editing option. So these all the options you can manage it using user flow. Okay. And how you can do that? You can click on user flow and here you get different types of user flows. Sign up and sign in. This will ensure that your website will have sign up and sign in option both. Okay. sign in option, this will ensure you will only have the sign in option. Sometimes your client doesn't want to show the sign up option on the portal, right? They only want to show the sign in option. So in that case, you can only select the sign in option. Sometimes you only want to show the sign up option, not the sign in option. So it's up to you, like which option you want to select. Okay. So how you can check? So you can see like I have already created some user flow. One is for login and one is for sign up, sign in. So how you can check like how it is work and how does it look like? So for example, if I first take the example of login, so this only show the login option on the authentication screen. So if I hit the run user flow and click on the run user flow option from the bottom, this will take me to the Azure AD B2C login page. Yep. So this is how it looks like. And you can see like, so don't go with the background and the customization and everything because I have customized this a lot. And I'm going to discuss this about in the tomorrow session that how you can customize your B2C page. But just focus on, you will see only login option. You don't get any sign up option here. And if I simply go to the sign up flow here, run user flow and go here, this will show me sign up option and the login option both. Now how you can, because this is a B2C screen, right? You can see like this is a B2C screen. Now how you can integrate this authentication like login, sign up to the Power Pages. Okay, so to do that we have this option, Azure AD B2C configuration, and we have to carefully capture all these details from the B2C tenant and put it over here. So first option you have to provide is the authority. Now what is the authority? Authority depends on what kind of user flow you are using. So for example, if you are using only login user flow, okay, you want to implement the login screen on the portal. You don't want to allow the sign up option. So create a user flow called sign in flow. Click on the run user flow. Click on this icon, link that you will get it, and just copy this particular URL. So this is a issuer URL. So issuer is nothing, it's just an authority URL. Okay, so you don't need to do anything. If you are setting up this in your environment, this environment, so this URL and everything you will get out of box. You just need to create the user flow that whatever you want to integrate in your portal. Okay, so that you need to copy this particular URL till v 2.0 slash and then go to here and then provide it over here. Client ID, redirect URL. Now, what is client ID? To get the client ID, you need to go to the app registration section in the left panel. You need to register a new app. Once you registered a new app, you need to provide all this detail and hit register. And once you do that, for example, I've already registered a new app. Open this and you will get the application ID from here. You just need to copy it like this and paste it over here. The second step is done. Step number 3, redirect URL. Now, why this redirect URL is necessary? Once your user will provide their username and password on the login screen, your identity will be get verified from the Azure Active Directory, Azure AD B2C directory, right? And once your authentication is done, you will be redirected to a particular portal site, right? So that's why this redirect URL is. If you are authorized, if you are authenticated user, which portal URL or which site URL you should be redirected to. So here you need to provide your portal URL. So this is the name of my portal URL and then slash sign in hyphen AADB2C1. So this will always remain same for all the portals. You only need to replace this particular part with your portal URL and this will remain same. Once it is done, copy it, go back to your B2C directory. So you already registered an app a while ago. Go to the authentication section in your app and here you need to add your redirect URI. Go to the web section, click on add URI and paste your URL like this. So since it's already there, so I'll not be added here, but whatever URL you want to add it here, you just need to keep it here like this. Step number 3 is done. Go to the step number 4, password reset setting. Okay. Now in the password reset setting, the first thing is the default policy ID. Now what is default policy ID? Default policy ID means whenever user will hit the login option on the portal, which login screen they should see, login screen or the sign up screen. So we want like the user should always see the login screen first. That's why we have created the login user flow. So we'll copy this name because this should be my default user flow. Go back to my portal and we'll paste it over here. You can see password reset policy. So password reset policy will always be there no matter whether you want to use the sign up flow or the sign in flow, because user will always change the password and reset the password. So password reset flow policy, how you can do that? Go again back to the user flow. I have already created a password reset flow. Click on new user flow and there is a password reset flow option here. So click here, copy this policy ID, go back and just paste it over here. Last step, valid issuers. So right now we are means uh, the authorities that we are using, right? So we are basically using two authorities. One is this, that is login user flow, and one is password reset flow. We need to provide the URL in the comma separated form. So this we have already copied from here. Copy the authority, paste it over here. And how I will get the password reset policy issuer URL? Again, go back here, click on the run user flow or password reset, click on this and just copy the issuer URL for password reset as well. So this is the way how I got the issuer URL for password reset and the login user flow. I will provide the comma separated form here. So you can see like if I go here, this is till here v2.0 slash. This is for the login. And from here, this is for the password reset. Some more settings, register claims mapping. So for example, like if I'm using the sign up flow, imagine I'm right now I'm not using the sign up flow, but imagine I'm using the sign up flow like this. So if I click on the sign up, I need to provide this information like email address, new password, confirm password, then and surname, job title. And imagine like this has nothing to do with the portal. This is completely a B2C screen. But if the user provide all the sign off information, you want like this information should be migrated to the Power Pages site when the user will successfully sign in, right? And you want to map it with the contact table columns. Then only you will be able to create the column. So how you can map that? This field uh, name and the data words contact field names obviously will be different. So how will we find like what should be the name of the email address? What should be the name of the given name? So that you can find like this. So you can go to the user flow, sign up and sign in because we are checking the sign up user flow, run user flow, click that URL again. If you go down, you will see like all this field name, emails, job titles, family name. So it is like a logical name that we are using in the Dataverse. Okay. So you need to copy the same exact name. For example, you want to copy the job title from Azure AD B2C page to the Dataverse contact job title. So copy this particular name, go here and yes, go here. So you can see like how we have to provide attribute one equal to claim one. So attribute one means your the logical name of your contact table. So job title. So this is the logical name of job title field in the contact table equal to this is the claim name. Claim name means the field name that I'm showing it on the sign up form of the Azure AD B2C. If I do it like this, it will ensure like whenever I will sign up on the Azure AD B2C, it will map the job title to this particular job title field of Dataverse. And in the comma separated form, you can, I think it's a comma separated or the semicolon, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a comma separated. So in the comma separated form, you can provide list of all the uh, column mapping. And sometimes you show some different columns or fields on the login screen as well. So in that case, you can use the login claims mapping as well, right? For example, like this is the login screen, I guess. Yeah, this is the login screen. But here I'm not using sign up option, but still, along with the email address, password, I'm taking some more input from the user. For example, like your job title, your designation and everything. And then also you want to map it with the Power Pages site, data was table. So in that case also you can provide that information in the log. Then in that case you have to provide this claiming at the login claim option. External logout, once you turn on this option, that means if you are hitting sign out option from the portal, then you will be signing out from the Azure AD B2C as well. Because sometimes what happen is if you turn off this option, you will be sign out from the Power Pages site, but you are still logging in your Azure AD B2C. So when you hit the portal URL again, you don't need to enter your username and password, and you will be re-authenticated again, right? So you may always want, like if you are signing out from the portal, you will always be signing out from the B2C as well. So in that case, you always turn on this option. Contact mapping with email, that is very important. So whenever you are registering from the Azure AD B2C, you want like so for example, like this is the email address you are providing here on the sign up option, like here, and you want like this email address should be matched with whatever email address is stored in the contact table. If it is already there, then it display the error message that duplicate contact found. If it is not there, then it's update the existing contact. Okay, so in that case you have to always turn on this setting so that it will always check whether the contact is available in the database or not, right? Otherwise it will create a duplicate contact, and this always needs to be enabled, of course, if you have to provide the sign up option. So this is how you can configure the Azure AD B2C configuration. The last thing, how you can automate this thing. Okay, so if you are enabling the sign up option on the portal, for example, like this. So imagine like a user will come to your website, they will hit the sign in option, and they will be redirected to this particular page. So they will be redirected to this particular page. So they don't need to do anything additional. They just click on the sign up now and they will fill up the information and do the registration. And the next time onwards, they can simply do the sign in. Okay. But imagine you don't want to display this sign up option. You only want to display the sign in option. Then in that case, how you can allow the external user to log into your portal. So without registration, how you can do that? So in that case, you can use the automation. So because whenever you do the sign up, there are two things happens in the background. The first thing, your user gets created in the Azure AD B2C tenant, and a new contact gets created in the Dataverse. So these two things happens in the background whenever you do the sign up. But when you don't allow user to sign up, then you have to do it automatically. So how you can do that automatically? So there is a flow that I have already created. This is the flow that I have already created. So since you have to automatically create the user in the Azure AD B2C, you need to deal with the Graph API, because Graph API is the only way that allows you to interact with the Azure AD or Azure AD B2C. Okay. So this is the one scenario where you have to automatically create the user in the B2C directory and automatically create the contact in the Dataverse table. The scenario number two is your contact is already there in the Dataverse. Okay. But you want to invite that contact to access your portal without exposing the sign up option on the portal. Now your contact is already there. They will go to the portal. They will not find the sign up option. Then how they will can register? So in that case, you can still use the invitation process. So you can see like I have used this Power Automate new portal access. So I have created a field on the contact called allow portal access. Whenever you turn on this option, it will automatically create a user in the Azure AD B2C and send a temporary password along with the registered email address to that particular contact. Whenever that contact will receive an email, it will enter the username and the temporary password. As soon as they log in, it will ask them to reset the password. Because it is a temporary password, user must change that. Once they will change the password, it will automatically redirect to the portal page. By doing that, I'm not exposing the sign up option. I'm just sending them the invitation with temporary password. How I can do that? So there are basically two things here. As I said, like if I have to interact with the Azure AD B2C tenant, I have to use the Graph API. So this is the main call of the Graph API, Graph user. And here I need to